What's going on? There we go. All right. Next up, this kid is part of a long lineage of people by the name of Westberg that have gone to Antelope Valley High School. Unfortunately, his last name is Golden, though. Not unfortunate that he just don't fall into the mix. However, next up, we got Keith Golden. Mom, that was too many girls cheering up there. I don't know. That's crazy. Keith is escorted by his mother, Karen Westberg, and his uncle, Coach Jared Westberg, and some other forms of his family there around here somewhere. Believe me, people, they like 50 deep. I see y'all waving. There we go. Keith Golden wears number 57, and he is one of AV's middle linebackers, a defensive tackle, and also a defensive end. I'm talking Swiss Army knife, people. After high school, he plans on attending UTI Houston. Keith would like to be a mechanic and a wildland firefighter. Tonight, he thanks family, his coaches, and his Uncle Jared for never giving up on him, pushing him, teaching him not to settle, and not letting him take the easy out. We will never forget the brotherhood he has established here. The practices, the long nights, analyzing film, and the relationship built with his brothers and coaches. Class of 24 is going down as the best class ever. Cap. That's all I'm going to say to that. But very close to the 1995 class. Because that was really the best class ever. Hold on, I got to turn the page. All right. And last but not least of our senior AV Lopes, this young man came to AV as a freshman, already looking like a senior. However, he got in that weight room and made himself look like a grown man now. It's crazy. Let's give it up for Mylon Sockwell. Mylon is escorted by his parents, David Sockwell and Charlene Wright, along with his brother. Wearing number 77, he is AV's offensive lineman, like the offensive lineman. That's that guy. Mylon has received multiple college scholars opportunities. First and foremost, he thanks God for allowing him to play the sport he loves with the guys he came into high school with for 4 years. Mylon gives a special shout out to Coach Lewis, Coach Vondra, Miss Desi, and Mr. Patterson, and the rest of the AV staff and AV football program for their support. I didn't see Coach Williams on here, but I'm assuming that was on there too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude. Oh, yeah. Seniors, one more thing for all of you. Don't forget, antelope born, antelope bred, I will be an antelope until I'm dead. Y'all gonna hear that from a lot of people a lot of times. A big thank you to Coach Lewis and the entire AV coaching staff for the countless hours and unwavering commitment to the Lopes program. And an even bigger thank you to Miss Lewis for making this whole night, like this Friday, September the 20th. She made it all possible for the whole program. That concludes the AV football portion of the senior night. Thank you, guys. And let's get tuned in for the AV cheerleader seniors. Give it up, everybody.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give the football players one more round of applause. This is Mr. Jeff Patterson, your PA announcer for this evening. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing tonight's 2023-24 senior cheerleaders under the supervision of Coach Charmaine. First up, Captain D'Angela Lovely. D'Angela is being escorted by her mother, Tiffany. She has been cheering at AV for 3 years and has been captain all 3 years. She would like to first thank her mom, Tiffany, for trying her hardest to support her through all her trials and tribulations, and still managing to be there to support through all her difficulties. She then would like to thank her counselor and Mr. Nahar for never giving up on her and always helping her when she needed it most. Deandra would like to thank Coach Charmaine for stepping in and helping build the school spirit and cheer team back up. She states, "Without you, all of this would be impossible, so I'm glad that I met you, and I will always be grateful to you." After high school, she plans on attending college, preferably an HBCU, to earn a degree in kinesiology and attaining a career in sports physical therapy. Deandra's favorite memory would have to be AV versus Eastside game, dancing and playing cheer games with the lights off and dancing the dance battle with Eastside's cheerleaders. To top it off, she would like to say, class of 2024, we lit, let's tee up tonight. Next up, co-captain Kamora Kennedy. Kamora has been escorted by her mother, Lakeisha Mims, and father, Desmond Kennedy, and her two brothers, Keemon and Kyrese Kennedy. She has been cheering at AV for 2 years. Kamora's favorite memory at AVHS was building new bonds with her cheermates. She would like to give a huge thank you to her mom and dad for everything they've done for her throughout her high school career. Kamora would like to thank Ms. Charmaine for being a great coach. After high school, Kamora plans on going to school to become a cosmetologist. Next up, co-captain Nayeli Olmos is being escorted by her mother, Maribel Olmos, and boyfriend, Ryan Hernandez. She has been cheering at AV for 4 years, and she couldn't have chosen a better way to spend her time. She would like to give a huge thanks to her mother, who is constantly supporting her through anything and everything. I love you, Mom. Aww. Secondly, her boyfriend, who listens to her complain about cheer battle bruises. Next, she would like to thank her coach, who took a chance on the team and gave them the support they needed. And lastly, Nayeli would like to thank her teammates, who made cheering the best part of her senior year. Cheer has brought so many memories, but Nayeli's favorite memory has to be finally being able to stunt and playing cheer games. Shout out to my stunt group who sacrificed their wrists for me, Nayeli says. Next up, Miss Joanna Campos. She's been escorted by her mom, sister Jasmine, and her dad. She has been cheering at AV for 1 year. She would like to thank her family and friends who have helped her, as well as teachers who have always had her best interests in mind. After high school, she plans on attending college and majoring in sociology. Joanna's favorite memory so far would have to be her cheer. Joanna State has been very fun and memorable. Next up, Miss Jasmine Neary. She's being escorted by her mom, Alicia, and her two best friends, Zahani and Bilges. She has been cheering at AV for 1 year. She would like to thank her parents, Sergeant Major Ward, Lieutenant Womack, her two best friends, and her boyfriend, Antonio Corona, for always supporting her and giving her great advice. After high school, Jasmine plans on joining the U.S. Navy and eventually becoming a nurse. Her favorite memory would have to be making great friends. Next up, Miss Blessings Howard and Lacey Brown. They are being escorted by their mother, Kiana Brown, and father, Tyrone Brown. Both ladies have been cheering at AV for 1 year. They would like to thank their coaches and family for supporting them. Blessings and Lacey would like to give a special shout out to Keena Brown and Coach Price. After high school, Blessings and Lacey plan on going to military/college and then become famous. Their favorite memory was all the sophomore year, as well as playing football and basketball. Next up, we have Miss Delisa Garcia Frosto. Has been cheering for 2 years. She would like to thank her mom, dad, her brother, and twin sister. Delisa states, I'd like to thank the person who would not judge me if I was in the wrong, the person who encouraged me every day to follow my dreams, the person who told me I looked pretty when I didn't feel pretty, the person who was there for me after every breakdown, my twin sister. We are so alike, yet so different. I also like to give credit to my brother for being such a great inspiration, despite all my stressful experiences with him. I thank him because he's one of my biggest supporters. He's always looked out for me and wants the best for me. He always gives me advice. It didn't matter what the situation was. Delisa would like to thank her dear cheer friends, They're such energetic girls with positive attitudes despite negative outcomes. We were prepared for our games. The vibes were immaculate, hyping each other up, making sure our makeup and hair were good. Man, these girls are just amazing. I'm so grateful for them, and I wish to make more memories with them. Lisa is ready to go out to the real world. Even though people said the real world is rough, she's interested in mysteries of how the brain works, so she plans to become a clinical psychologist to help those who need it most. Her favorite high school memory was when she participated in a haunted house last year. She and her friends still talk about it to this day. And last but certainly not least, Miss Natalie Pacheco. She's been escorted by her mom, dad, and little sister. She has been cheering at AV for 1 year. She would like to thank her parents for always giving her love and her besties for always sharing good memories and advice. After high school, Natalie plans on going to ABC, then transferring to a university to become a registered nurse. Her favorite memory of high school would have to be joining school sports and activities like soccer and cheer, which have granted her many friends and countless memories. Congratulations to the 2023-24 senior cheerleaders. Ladies and gentlemen, one quick announcement. This game is being will be broadcast on the City of Lancaster channel L28. It can be seen on the internet at facebook.com/City of Lancaster CA.
So we're ready for game action. So glad you're with us here on L28.
I've been in the Bentley smoking moon rocks, pocket full of mud, blue guap, half an ounce in my Gucci tube socks. For the summertime, got a new drop. Trapper slash rapper slash bag snatcher. Baby mama mad, she said you live like a bachelor. So I sold 100 pounds, then gave 10% to the pastor. Keep going up the ladder, they mad, make them matter. Told my son when I'm gone, you gon' be a rich little bitch. Pointers on me hitting, leave them dizzy. All my old feeling salty, yeah. In my DM, talking about why you doubt me, yeah. But I still miss you, can you call me, yeah. I heard a chain that you still ballin', yeah. Yeah, she used to bust them streets for me at Walgreens. That nigga Lynn I call. What's my call? Hey,
Back at the time, out my city became a boss. Those rolling, holy moly, no days off. Pirates cook it up like Kyrie trade you off. Let's go. Green and white like Celtics, don't play with me, play with a phone. I'm superior, I'm imperial, I ain't feeling you. I can eat me all about a brick. I got beer buns on my wrist. Go to college fund on my out the star, taking a chance, tone, Tommy gun. Left out of school, start selling rocks, bought me a drop. Cut your frames, cut your rings, cut your socks. Homicide gang, they gon' put you on Fox. Wu-Tang ran up a whole M, sitting in the box. For dog, rolling the feds, still new blocks. We had a bando going crazy in the SWAT. 10 before they running. We gon' all the smoke. 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 It's money turning me. I remember syrup sandwiches and crime allowances, finessing on them with some counterfeits, but now I'm counting this. Parmesan with my accountant lips, in fact I'm down in this. I'm say with my bootleg, taste like bootleg for the analyst. Girl, I can buy your Westie girl with my base stuff. I know that it's good, won't you sit it on my taste buds? I get way too busy, once you let me do the extras. Pull up on your block and break it down, we playing Tetris. AM to the PM, PM to the AM phone. Eat up your per diem, you just got to hate them phone. If I quit your BM, I still rock Mercedes phone. If I quit this season, I still be the greatest phone. My left stroke just went viral. Right stroke put the baby in the spiral. Soprano C, we like to keep it on the high note. It's levels to it, you and I know. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Yeah, we knocky and bucky and ready to fight. I bet ya I'ma throw them things away as specific ones. See me, I ain't nothing nice. Ain't caught up, it ain't no stopping. Nike like say that. And that's all I've been lying. I can say they got poppin' and I am acting the fool. I wish I had a wig and crop up on this crime, my crew. Now enough is enough. Why run and get stuck? Why love is a must. Why no? If you get
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Brick Newcomb Stadium in Mays Field, home of the Antelope Valley High School Antelopes, for the final home contest of the 23-24 season against Lancaster High. In case of an emergency, please note the nearest exit. Visitors are to exit towards the north parking lot. Home stands, please exit towards the west side of the stadium in a swift and orderly fashion. Tonight's game is being broadcast on the City of Lancaster channel, L28. It can be seen on the internet at facebook.com/City of Lancaster CA. Tonight's game is being played under the rules of the CIF Southern Section. The Antelope Valley Union High School District promotes these rules that provide for fair play, good sportsmanship among players and coaches. We ask spectators to promote the ideas of good sportsmanship, fair play, and respect for our opponents and officials. Attention all Antelope Valley students. Our student section on the south end of the bleachers. All students are to sit in the section with the band, ROTC, and ASB leadership teams. Show your support and get turned up for the final home game of the 23-24 season here at AV High School. ROTC color guard, are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hat for the presentation of our nation's colors by the Antelope Valley Navy Junior ROTC color guard cadets under the direction of Lieutenant Womack and Sergeant Major Ward. Tonight's cadets are Cadet Lieutenant Commander Nelly Flores, American flag. Cadet Lieutenant Junior Grade Elizabeth Rodriguez, Navy flag. Cadet Ensign Mia Kasayan, Rifleman. And Cadet Ensign Rocio Hernandez Rico, Rifleman, all under the leadership of Lieutenant Womack, Sergeant Major Ward of the Antelope Valley Navy Junior ROTC program. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem presented by Lope saxophonist Angel Reyes and Joan Arroyo. Golden League handshake, is that a go? Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the center of the field where the Golden League Goodwill handshake will now take place between Antelope Valley High School principal, Ms. Lisa Smith, and Lancaster High School principal, Mr. Zach Mercier. This handshake is a symbol of goodwill and sportsmanship between Golden League schools. Also tonight's captains for
Lancaster, we are with AV High School's head coach, Coach Lewis. Coach, it's senior night tonight. and you are a UCLA grad and also an AV high school alum. How does it feel to hear your senior students say they're encouraged to go to college after playing on this field?
I mean, that's the whole mission, especially being a head coach, is getting these guys to think about life after football, and really that education and that pursuit of an education. So it's beautiful to hear all that.
Big game tonight. You're going against the current champs of the league. So watching film this past week, was there anything that stood out to you?
I mean, they're tough, they're sound, they're fast, you know, they match up well with us. Just like you said, they're defending champions and stuff. They got a lot of depth, and so we got a work cut out for us tonight.
Lots of low pride in my family. My parents are alums, you're an alum. So what's the one thing you're most proud of being an AV alum?
Just that understanding that grit of life, you know, and just always that hard-working mindset, and that's what I wanted to do when I came back to this school, is bring that old Lope tradition back. So I hope I did all my Lopes proud out there.
You did all of us proud. Have a great game. Looking forward to seeing it.
All right, thank you.
Lancaster, we are so excited to see this hometown rivalry go on tonight, and we are going to kick it back to our play-by-play, Ronnie Woods.
I believe Antelope Valley won the toss and has deferred to the second half, which means Lancaster will receive the ball to start the game. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to stand on your feet for the last whole game of the 23 season. Stand up and make some noise for your Antelope Valley Antelope.
And hi, everyone. Ronnie Wald, live and direct here from Antelope Valley High School in Lancaster, California, as this 2023 season is really starting to wind down. Both these teams, and I'm now talking about Lancaster High against Antelope Valley, longtime rivalry. It's called tonight the Battle of the Boulevard, but it's even more important because for many years, both these teams are going in opposite directions, and the particular game, their face-off every year, didn't mean much. It wasn't even a hill of beans, but now it's meaning a lot because both these teams have playoff hopes in 2023. The home squad, Antelope Valley, who's now coming out on the field right now, they find themselves at 2-3 in the league. They could act as spoiler tonight against Lancaster or win out, and I would say they're on the rear end of the bubble, still an opportunity, a hope, on a wing and a prayer. But as for Lancaster, the defending CIF champions, they're in a more precarious situation. They must win the next two games, and they must not look too far ahead, that being next week against, 5-0 Palmdale, a real juggernaut. No, they've got to get through Antelope Valley, which is only 2-3 in league. But again, on this senior night, they're feeling it, and they would love to upend this Lancaster team. Why? Well, there was a 10-year losing streak on the part of Lancaster against Antelope Valley, and that ended last year. Ended on the road at Lancaster. Oh, Antelope Valley and their talented coach, Jermaine Lewis, would dearly like to get some comeuppance, some retribution, so to speak, and get back at this Eagle squad headed by Brandon Rivers. So the flip took place, and wow, Tiffany Johnson, outstanding interviews on our pregame show, and now we're ready to go from my catbird seat, and outstanding vantage point. I'm not too far away from the camera, so the view you see right now around the world on the internet and on L28 is the one I've got, so there's no excuses on the part of the broadcaster. The tension is there. Of course, the passion is palpable, and we're ready to go with a game between two long-standing rivals. It looks like right there, this Antelope Valley team adorned in the black uniform with the red pant, they'll be kicking off. They lost the flip. And again, Lancaster, the Eagles, They're in the white. They've got a very short kick. Comes down around the 32. The return specialist has it. He sees some daylight on this very dark desert night and gets up to midfield. Of course, we've already done a couple games at Lancaster, out there amongst the customers, and we had a grand time. Now we're inside, fully ensconced inside, and outstanding fans are here tonight. And again, a tremendous pregame senior ceremony, and they've got a number of young men on this Antelope Valley team graduating: Kawan Sims, Kim Babineau, and Mylan Stockwell. And we'll see them in action tonight. Just the start of things, the first quarter, as you well know, in the high school realm, they run the 12-minute quarters, 11:48 to go. The quarterback, the talented Lee Dinkins, the senior, takes it by himself on the right side. He'll barely get back to the line of scrimmage. As we noted, this is the hotly contested Golden League, and the Eagles are 3-2. And as we said just a moment ago, turn it around, Golden League for the Lopes. They're called the Antelopes, of course, 2-3. In fact, Highland and Palmdale have run the table. They're 5-0. Quartz Hills 4-1. And then comes Lancaster and Antelope Valley in the league race. From the shotgun, he steps back. He fires away. He has an open man. He goes right through his hands, and then he gets hit very hard. Oh, there's that late flag, and you know what that means. A late hit early in this ball game. Very fortunate that time. It was a hit that made, no doubt, a statement right there for the early part of this game, and he was able to get up and on his own volition get back over there on the Eagle side of the sideline. It looked like number 12, Ashton Rigney. We don't want to get him mixed up. Ashton, A-S-H-T-I-N, Rigney, and then the one we keep our eye on all the time. Well, we've already covered them, as I know, 3 times this year. Ashton, A-S-H-T-O-N, Mitchell. Okay, with that, a major penalty, and they're going to move that football much deeper into Antelope Valley territory. So deep, it's right now at their own 35-yard line. Ronnie Wald, your game broadcaster. So proud to bring it to you. A completely 100% non-AI broadcast. It's organic here at L28, and it's really me. Okay, here we go. 1st and 10, gets held on for a moment, and then a duo of antelopes, known affectionately as the Lopes, bring him down with a loss of 3 that time. Nowhere to go was number 4, Ashton Mitchell. By the way, you might be thinking about last year's game at Lancaster, a long, laborious 10-year struggle. And it really was for Lancaster to beat their rivals, Antelope Valley, as right now there's some discussion on the field. Nevertheless, the streak was broken last year, and the big star in that game was the running back for Lancaster, Ashton Mitchell, who had 130 yards in that ball game. It was a 40-32 win for Lancaster. All right, quarterback has it, Dinkins. Dinkins rolls out, here's the throw, and it's incomplete. Field looks great, and it's synthetic turf, and we've seen a number of them up here in the high desert. And you don't have the maintenance problems, and this one was installed almost 10 years ago. It looks pretty good. Antelope Valley High School with 9:45 to go, no score, but right now threatening and trying to get the first score and attain that big momentum and get going in this ball game. And of course, Lancaster has a better opportunity to get to the postseason. And by the way, we're happy to report in these historic first broadcasts of sports in Lancaster area on L28, we'll be there for the first rounds of the playoff. We just got that, again, imprimatur from City Hall. We'll be there. Look forward to bringing the action, but we got to get through the regular season. Here's a quick handoff, right side, the sweep, and eludes one, but finally knocked down hard. And again, head coach Jermaine Lewis, a talented guy that once played himself at Antelope Valley. Yes, he did. And the lineage is incredible. This is called Brent Newcomb Stadium. Newcomb was the head coach here for 26 years. And if you look at the scoreboard over there on the northern side of the field, not only is it named for Coach Newcomb, but all the championships, they were able to, again, accumulate all that trophy hardware in their display case here in the athletic department. They had like 5 championships, but not much since the 90s. That's when Coach Newcomb, he himself retired up the middle in the seam through, again, the buttery fingers of the intended receiver. They've had some open opportunities. And again, we hate to belabor the point, but these young players start to run with the football before they have possession of it, looking for the promised land, and they're not even there yet. Ashton Rigney was the one, and that will, right now, looking at the scoreboard with 8:15 to go and still no score. And right now, taking a quick break, was this Antelope team a chance to get together and plot strategy right now. They're going to get the football back. That was a 4th down play. 4th down. Hey, give credit to Brandon Rivers, only his 2nd year at Lancaster, but he rolled the dice, but came up flat on that one. Now they'll take over, and they're at around their own 19-yard line. Quarterback Ani Hawkins. I'm Ronnie with an R. That's Ani, no R. And now they're going to have to take some time and go back to the sideline and confer. There was something that turned them around, and they need to talk to their coaches. So while they do, 8:15 to go, no score. We'll be right back. So glad you're with us. A mini summit going on down there on the field with the red and black clad Antelopes of Antelope Valley High School. You talk about the long history. Before Newcomb Stadium was built here about 15 years ago, it was called Mays Field. That's right. All the way back 111 years ago, 1912. Think of the legends that have performed out here. It might look different, but the field resonates with history. First and 10 it is. He'll step back, looks downfield, the heave, the big arm. He shows he has it, but he outthrows not only the receiver, but the defensive back. We know you'll get a better shot and opportunity to see the numbers than I have up here in the press box. As I said, my catbird seat, high above the western sidelines. But there's a new CIF regulation coming. There's got to be a better contrast of number to uniform, and you've got it with Lancaster, obviously. Not so much, again, with that outstanding, good-looking uniform for Antelope Valley, the Lopes. But, again, it's not so great or hot for the broadcasters. Still, it's 8:06 to go. No score yet in this ballgame. 2nd and 10 for this Antelope Valley team. AVHS. Okay, up the middle, they're going to stay on the ground, and a quartet of Eagles said, no way. That's as far as you go, the 20. As we said, their coach Jermaine Lewis, who had played for the legendary Brent Newcomb, he went off to UCLA after his playing days, distinguished himself out in an outstanding way, and then came back here, and he's been head coach now for a number of years, piloting this Antelope Valley team. A plethora of flags. Looks like an offside call. Of course, we know Rivers has just done magical things at Lancaster in only now his 2nd year, but he just told me on the field, and I'd never seen him. So, again, I don't want to use the term nervous, but concerned. That would be the proper metaphor, because he knows they have to take care of business tonight. They came off a loss last week. Now, of course, it was against Highland, But boy, they played them tough. 33-26 loss. And here is the give. And up the middle, a gain of 4. But by the way, the Lopes are also on the losing end. They found themselves losing last week to Quartz Hill 21-6. Both teams that you see right now on your screen are extremely hungry. They know it's almost like Cinderella. The clock is ready to strike midnight on this 2023 season, and they better get going. And here it is. Couldn't be better than this, the Battle of the Boulevard. 1st and 10, so that was a first down. And here it is up the middle. Nice gain of at least 6. Their main talented rusher is the junior Melvin Butler. He gets about 5 and change in terms of yardage, 5.5 yards a carry. He's got 3 touchdowns this year. 6:49 to go here in the first quarter. No score. And we have, unfortunately, an Eagle on the field. Face down is never a good thing. But remember, when they first walk up to him, they say, don't move. Now, where does it hurt? And the arm, leg, knee, where? And oftentimes they're able to get up on their own volition. And we sure hope he's all right. And right now the crowd is responding. Winding up the 2023 year, and to see the proud seniors so wonderfully exemplified in pre-game ceremonies as they're still attending to that player out there. And head coach Jermaine Lewis, he could have a stand-up routine in Las Vegas because he really handles the mic well. But right now, a collective silence, and they've turned the player over on his back, have they? It looks like they're gesturing. It may be for a stretcher. Let's see. So unfortunately, this game just starting out, and we have that negative, unfortunately, of a player down right now and not able to walk to the sideline. 6:49 to go. No score. Antelope Valley and Lancaster. Right now, a sheriff's deputy is going out there as well, and a golf cart. That may be how they're going to transport him out of there. We're going to keep it right here. We thought we'd take a break, but we'll stay right here. Our prayers are always with these young men out there who lay it all on their line. They've got the parents watching, grandma, grandpa, and they've got the Klieg lights on them right now from an L28 broadcast. So everything seems to be amplified, if you know what I mean. By the way, Antelope Valley will be taking on Knight in their final game of the year. Lancaster plays at home against Palmdale next week. So now they have more, again, officials taking care of that Lancaster player. So we will take a break, say a prayer collectively, and hope he's all right. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Ronnie Wald here with your play-by-play. We've had a long, again, intermission, so to speak, taking care of a Lancaster player. I'm yet to see the number. Possibly one of our talented camera people can get a close-up, unless they finally lift them. I thought they were going to go off in that golf cart, but that golf cart's gone. But a number of players circled around the Lancaster player wasn't just something minor. And we'll see if he pulls through this all right. If you're just joining us, no score in Lancaster at the, again, renowned Battle of the Boulevard. Both schools at opposite ends of Lancaster Boulevard. They played for a number of years, but the rivalry lost a lot of interest. Thanks in great part to that long Death Valley state of non-winning on the part of Lancaster. They just couldn't beat Antelope Valley. 10 years long until last year. It could be the wait here. They're waiting for a better setup to transport this player, that they're not counting on him being able to even get into the golf cart. The best thing, put him flat, possibly a stretcher type situation. And I've been through a lot of these. This is 41 years for me doing this. And you start to see, and your heart stops when you see those bright lights of the local county paramedic ambulance coming in as they open the gate. And it's usually quite a long wait. So that's what we're doing right now. 6:49 remaining in the first quarter. No score. We'll be back. Still that Lancaster player on the field. There has to be a half dozen people around him, including L.A. County Sheriff's deputy. And they finally did relent and allow that golf cart to go back out there. But maybe it's just an administrator checking it out. I just don't like to do any guesswork up here in the broadcast booth. I'm in the same position right here, vulnerable and prone, and I can only watch, hope, and most importantly, pray. Make sure he's all right. It was a tangle down there, a group of players, as they started to pull the bodies away. This young man, this Lancaster player, was down there, and again, we're so sorry, can't identify him. Maybe again, if we get a close-up from the camera, we can. But as for right now, I just know it's a white-clad Lancaster player. In case you're just joining us, no score in this one. There was a celebratory mood out here. People are feeling good. Senior night, the natural rivalry between these two teams, and then this, reality, life. I see our talented reporter, Tiffany Johnson. There she is. She's coming back to the sideline. So she did get a first-hand report. So I suspect they're going to put her on the air, and we'll find out right now from Tiff what's going on.
His name is Mikey Below, but unfortunately, it looks like he might have possibly broken his femur. Thankfully, again, he is conscious, but this isn't something that we're looking forward to seeing. Might be a long recovery ahead. Sending it back up to you, Ronnie.
Ronnie Wald back live now, and I know it's a pensive moment for us as well as the people there. And please, again, accept our forgiveness for not getting the information to you, but there's people up here in the press box that don't know either. The number of the uniform is not on our roster, but we did identify the name of the player, Mikey Ballou. Mikey B-A-L-O-U. And again, I hope I got that right. He's the one on the field, and you can see, as we noted, I hate to say it from years of experience, but again, it's never a happy sight to see the lights of the LA County paramedics driving on the track, and behind them an ambulance, as this young man, Mikey Ballou, will make a trip straight to the hospital. And they're saying right now, as I get the information here, broken leg. Always problematic with young players who bone structure is still developing in their teens. We just hope he's all right and it won't have any long-term consequences. The game was a 0-0 tie, 6:49 to go, almost halfway through the first stanza. And there we go, and the best part, he's on his way, and he's going to get some help. That's the best part.
If you wanted to take it to TIFF, just let me know.
I'm ready to go to TIFF. When you're ready, Annabelle. Annabelle's the producer and the boss. Take it to TIFF. She's on the sideline. She's right in the thick of things.
We have the first responders on the field, and thankfully Mikey Ballou's parents are here with him as well. It is very devastating to see that this young man just got pulled up on the roster. His number is yet to be placed on the roster. We're in the beginning of the game, and this situation has occurred. Thankfully, he has a great team that has held him up with great morale. I'm looking forward to see how this young man recovers and holds together the spirit of the Lancaster Eagles.
Paramedics are on the scene. We'll be back shortly.
I'm signaling her physically now.
Ladies and gentlemen, while we have a minute, Major League Baseball score update. Top of the 7th inning, NLCS, Philadelphia Phillies 4, Arizona Diamondbacks 2. Earlier today, Houston Astros 5, Texas Rangers 4. Astros lead the series 3-2.
EMS is getting this young man ready to be placed in the back of the rig. They do have his leg wrapped up, so it does look like a leg injury. I went over to Lancaster head coach Brandon Rivers and asked for an interview, but he insisted that his focus is on this young man. Again, this was a special game for this kid, and he really just wanted to ball out tonight, and it is just the beginning of the game. Thankfully, the Lancaster Eagles are saying that they're going to push through for the end of the game, get this W for their teammate, and just keep him in his prayers.
Sorry to keep you hanging out there. Ronnie Wald one more time. The young man named Ballou. Unfortunately, this player for Lancaster went down about 20 minutes ago. And first they had to find out how serious it was. Well, serious enough that the ambulatory care is out there, as you can see right now on the field. Something we truly, truly abhor. And as I said, I started in 1982, so I've seen this a few times, and it's always one that in my personal prayers I would say, please, dear Lord, I don't want to ever see this again. And that's what we're witnessing right now on the field, particularly on a celebratory night, senior night, and the importance of this, the Battle of the Boulevard Games, seems somewhat less important. So there you have it. At least the ambulance is there. A one-way quick trip to the hospital. Broken leg, fibula. No, we don't do surmising here at L28. But I know one thing. They've got him on the stretcher. And, of course, the plaudits of both sides. This is a Lancaster player, but you're hearing the plaudits from Antelope Valley High School parents and fans. It's amazing when you have these high schools in the same geographical area. Oftentimes, the players going up against one another grew up together, and they were in maybe the Little League, the Pony Leagues, whatever. They came up together, and they find themselves rivals on the field. And you'd like to justify that and say, well, adult rivals, that'd be great, but not when they're still teenagers. And moreover, to have an injury of this severity. We're going to send it back down to Tiff. She's on the sideline.
He's alert. He's breathing. A rival in sorts, but they're supportive of their hometown friends, saying, we are proud of you. Now the boys have about 5 minutes to warm back up, get back on the field, and let the game begin.
All right, great job, Tiffany Johnson. Ronnie Wald back in the catbird seat. We find that player. Again, Blue now lifted into the AMR ambulance. Ready to take that ride over, I would think, the closest hospital, Antelope Valley Hospital, but just get him over there. Technicians, paramedics with him and him. And one more thing, the most important thing, because we prayed, the good Lord with him. We also saw the paramedic unit out here in LA County. They went over to assist and help out, but they've decided to go with the AMR ambulance, and there it goes. It's on its way. But that's only part of the story. The other part is all of us with bated breath in a pensive-like mood tonight, waiting for the disposition, the status, the condition of this young man. And I hope we can get that before we go off the air. And somehow, again, the game seems less relevant. But we all must go on. You know, on the Lancaster side, a fellow teammate, and the first thing you say is, if you're one of those players, and particularly if it was your best friend, that could have been me. And as for Antelope Valley, who came out hitting the opponent hard tonight, I mean, really smacking Lancaster, made a statement. Wonder now if they will ratchet back somewhat that furious, may I say, fast and furious approach to the Big D against this Lancaster team. We'll find out. Well, we suffered through 90-degree temperatures today all over Southern California, deep into October. How deep? October 20th? Yeah. But, you know, it's something about these desert nights. They predicted that it'll get down into the 50s tonight, and I'm starting to feel it right now. It's actually quite lovely. Nary a cloud in the sky when, right after that point, when Mr. Sunshine went down beyond the western horizon, when the coolish-like temperatures came out, and it's just, like I said, a lovely night. And unfortunately, it has been shot into smithereens, into oblivion after that injury. But we're back to game action. Here we go. It's a handoff. It's going to get right back, hopefully, to midfield that time for this Antelope Valley team. Again, if you're just joining us, no score. Clock running at 6:36, 6:35, 6:34 to go, only here in the first quarter. And I'm just going to guess that that was like a 40-minute intermission. 40 minutes. And again, we implore any of our staff or people around the athletic department here to let us know the status of that young man. Here's the handoff. Off tackle, back to midfield, and then up to the 49 into Lancaster territory. Again, the black and red clad Antelopes of this Antelope Valley team against the magnificent whites worn by Lancaster tonight. The quarterback for Antelope Valley, as we noticed, is Ani Hawkins, but we keep a real close eye on the receiver, Kawan Sims. He's number one on the team in receptions. And their talented junior rusher named Melvin Butler. That gets you caught up to date. .544 to go, and now we see a fire engine truck that came out, and they do come out on any kind of injury just to join and be with the paramedics in case they're needed. Now they're now going through the gate. Who are they? They're making a big circular turn over there on the north side of the stadium. Oh, they're going to bring out the yard markers. They're going to measure that one. It's 4th and 3, everyone. And 5:44 to go in the first, no score. A little bit short.
AV will be short by the hair there, chinny chin chin.
By a hair.
4th down.
So there you go, 4th and 3. It can't be 3 naturally because he just showed us and made that designation with his fingers. It was just a matter of inches, so 4th and inches. This is the Golden League, everybody. And I think we already mentioned that Highland and Palmdale have run the table this year in first place on their heels, Quartz Hills. And then Lancaster 3 and 2, 1 game behind Quartz Hill. And Antelope Valley High School 2 and 3. They have only a sliver of hope to get into the postseason. A very small opportunity, or it could act as a spoiler. Lancaster has a very real opportunity if they finish with 2 W's here and next week against Palmdale. No easy task. They feel they'll make it to the postseason. Remember, they're the defending CIF champion. They're going to go for it. 4th and less than 1. Oh, he was over the center, and then all of a sudden he backs up, and now he's back. Right there, he'll take it by his lonesome. Pile pushing forward. Good old-fashioned smash-mouth football. Nothing technical about it, and it was good enough to get the Antelope first down. But sadly, the injury to the player took a lot of oxygen out of the stadium. Hopefully regain the passion and the excitement of this ballgame. I'm sure if that player, who's fully cognizant of the situation, would say, don't worry about me. Play the game. A lot is on the line tonight. But collectively, the crowd has gone into a funereal type stupor. They're very quiet now. Pitch out, taking it quickly. He's got it. That's number 6 for Antelope Valley. That's, again, Melvin Butler, only a gain of 1. 4:43 remaining in the first. Still no score. Now everyone that gets up slowly, again, the collective pause and the pregnant pause, so to speak, hoping that player's A-OK. Flag was on the field, and it's going to be an infraction called against the Antelopes. You hate to lose territory that you, again, work so hard to get. So they go in reverse. They're not at midfield anymore. They had made it into Lancaster territory. They're all the way back at their own 42-yard line. Clock running at 4:25. Man in motion is Kawan Sims Jr. The quarterback, Ani. Ani's throw, it's a good one, and it's caught. Dragged down at the 30, a huge gain. No, we don't have a statistician. But let me give you some numbers here. 10, 20, 30, at least a 35-yarder on that throw, and what a beauty it was. It seemed to loft in midair so beautifully, and then, of course, the receiver, like a newborn baby, was able to bring it in to terra firma. Nice job. That means a brand new 1st and 10, inside 4 minutes to go. From the shotgun again. Here's the handoff. Butler's got it. Butler in pain. Butler trapped behind the line of scrimmage. And there's your late flag, everybody. It's the telltale sign that there was, a ridiculous late hit. And they'll pay dearly for it. Hey, we're so proud to have that relationship with Coach Rivers in his 2nd year at Lancaster. You know, he's done so much to bring back the reputation of the Lancaster and the area football program. The news, the information on Lancaster CIF Championship last year was heard and seen far and wide. Here's what he told me. He's not sure how to describe his coaching style, but he tries to do the best job he can, holding the kids accountable and just try to do things the right way. If you do things the right way, good things will happen. I think they're in good hands with Brandon Rivers, who's a talented player in Boron. All CIF in Boron. 20 mule team, baby. And ended up, before he got to Lancaster, the coach at California City. Man in motion right now, a 1st and 20. They had to go backwards again because of that late hit. They lost 10 yards. I'm sure their head coach, who played for the legendary Brent Newcomb and then on to UCLA, is fit to be tied right now after a couple of silly penalties. They were moving so well and with rapidity, and now find themselves stymied here and a timeout on the field. 3:11 to go, 1st and 20. No score, Lancaster and Antelope Valley. We'll be right back. A game held up by around a half hour to 40 minutes because of an injury on the field, a player taken off in an ambulance. All we can do is quote Shakespeare, "What is done cannot be undone." We just hope he's A-okay, and here come the flags one more time. The plethora of flags flying like, well, it's a rainstorm of yellow flags, dotting the community. Now they've got it up to the 35. It's 1st and 15. 3:10 to go. In the longest first quarter that we've endured in a long time. Stepping back, he's going to take it on his own quarterback volition. A keeper, and he was met furiously. Number 1 was right there, Peter Atala. I mean, both bodies going into one another. After the injury, I thought possibly they would pull back and not be as rambunctious, and that time showed they're not going to be. Atala hit him straight on. I could feel it up here. Ugh. So right now, with no score and the clock winding down with 3:02 remaining in the first quarter, they're ready to put on a great halftime show here. They've got their pink bows in their hair. They're looking very fashionable out there. Antelope Valley Cheer, and I guess I could call them Marching and Chowder Society. Okay, here is the offense, and it's going to be ruled this time against Lancaster. It's the Eagles who are the offending party. And look where the ball is placed, all the way up to the Eagle 16-yard line. An opportunity to break the ice. Antelope Valley would love it. Again, they remember being stung last year, losing to Lancaster 40-32. Rollout. Pump fake, no. He's going to take it by himself. Did he get in? Not quite. Knocked out of bounds. Oops. He was knocked down, and oh no. A number of players running over there. It was an Antelope Valley player that was a late hit, and we've got fisticuffs out there and an altercation on the field, and we never like that. So there are hard feelings over there in Lancaster after they watched a player of their own go off to the hospital in an ambulance. This time, it was an unnecessary, ridiculous hit that pushed, that time, an Antelope player into the track. The indignity of it, and they're hoping it's all right. Immediately, they start chasing after Lancaster players, but it didn't get any further. Thank the Lord. Thankfully. Don't need that for Lancaster. Don't need that between these two teams. But right now, a couple of the coaches are right now upbraiding their own Antelope players, saying, how could you do that? It was unnecessary. Payback. If they feel that way, yes, but not on the field. And you know the very strict CIF regulations. And then another worrisome thing is that the fans start to get irate. So that's where we're at right now in this very slow, meandering, laborious affair that was, again, mired by an unfortunate broken leg of one of the Lancaster players who went off on an ambulance not long ago. And just like that, an opportunity to get back at an Antelope Valley player, and they did. He's all right, though. He was able to get up off the track. But that is the state of affairs right now here at Brent Newcomb Stadium on the campus of Antelope Valley High School. Want to get this message over to Annabelle, and if she thinks she could go down to TIFF and get some illumination and some information, because right now Antelope Valley is in their huddle. We're going to keep it right here. But anytime, Annabelle, you want to get down to our terrific sideline reporter, Tiffany Johnson, let us know. In the meantime, you've got one of the security officials shaking a flashlight down there. Are they going to resume play? Is it a situation right now where it could get out of hand? Remember, the ball was placed around the 15-yard line of Lancaster. I thought maybe as he went around the sideline, I was trying to watch if the player got in. He didn't. But still, he was knocked out of bounds, and it wasn't your typical pushing a player out of bounds. They sent him straight into the track, the tartan track, around this magnificent stadium, constructed in 2009, replacing Mays Field that had been here since 1912. Oh, the moments out there that have spanned over 111 years. And here we are at L28 with this historic first-time sports broadcast package dealing with, again, an unfortunate, terrible injury, a broken leg to a Lancaster player, and now almost a situation where there's fighting out there. It was broken up immediately and they let it go. But now they're down there and they haven't resumed play. They want to make sure as everybody has cooled down, everybody has control of themselves, and we can get going on this battle of the boulevard. But we've got a long way to go, people. We're only at the 2:32 mark of the first quarter. What in the world could happen next? Looks like the ball will be placed at the 12-yard line. It's not in the red zone. Our talented PA announcer, did you hear if anyone was thrown out of the game? Okay. So here we go. They're on the 12. Here's the handoff. There's an opening up the middle. Was it enough for a touchdown? No. Short. He'll come down around the 6. Big opening that time, no doubt about it. An opportunity to score, but then able to work together the defense, and it's an outstanding one on the part of Lancaster, was able to crowd out the ball carrier that time, Butler. So here we have 3rd and 3. Actually 3rd and 3 at the 8-yard line. Here we go. He's got the football, off tackle, good coverage, brings him down short of the touchdown, and he'll be spotted, I suspect, around the 4. Inside 2 minutes to go, 1:52 remaining here in the first quarter, and still no score. Threatening is this home squad, Antelope Valley. Let's see if they can make it. Coach Lewis was full of praise about Lancaster. He said Lancaster has explosive offense and a fast defense. Now they're going to try to break through with the first score of the game. Off tackle, right side. That's Butler with it. Pushing forward, pushing the bodies forward, and over for a touchdown. The first score of the ball game. It was a long wait, wasn't it? 1:36 mark of the first quarter, 6-0 Antelope Valley. One more thing, we were talking to, again, the talented Jermaine Lewis, and he said, you know what? Our squad works two-way. We just don't have enough players. And if you look at the roster I'm using tonight, there's 2 times more space dedicated to the Lancaster team than to the Lopes of Antelope Valley. You see, the Eagles have dedicated players for offense and then dedicated players for defense. As they're going to go for the 2-pointer. Nobody to guard him, nobody near him. He waltzes in for the 2-point conversion. Even I could have scored on that one. So we're talking about the vaunted defense. They were non-existent. Persona non grata. Could not find them that time. Enough to get 2 more on the scoreboard. Antelope Valley 8, Lancaster nothing. 1:36 to go. We'll break as well. You're listening to and watching an exclusive sports broadcast on where else but L28. We'll be right back. Antelope Valley using their talented junior rusher Butler twice on the 6 points on the touchdown, and then he was able to waltz in without any interference, like a walk in the park, and got the 2, and that's what the baseball score is right now, 8-0 Antelope Valley. They'll be kicking off now, 1:36 to go, end-over-end variety kick, and it's going to go out of bounds, and they're going to spot it over there. Lancaster dearly needs a W. We explained that. We explained it, again, in volumes, that they must win 2 more to even have a chance. More problematic for this Antelope Valley team to even get into the postseason. So acting as a spoiler maybe, but they believe they're going to at least try to win going in for the final 2 games and seal the deal for themselves. Remember, in the Golden League, the Eagles, first off, they're 4-4 overall, 3-2 in the league. The Lopes find themselves 2-6 overall and 2-3 in the league. Both these teams off losses last week. So they desperately want a W, even more so if you're an Antelope Valley fan, because they're in front of the fans here at the Classic Stadium, Brent Newcomb Stadium. Okay, here we go. Nice kick, and that's end-over-end variety. Will he bring it back? Yes, he will. Return specialist season opening. He gets by 1, but finally brought down beautifully. And that was a great tackle out there in the open field without any help. Ran back in a celebratory mood. It looks like it was number 27 there, Dion Bogan. The 5'9", 150-pounder. Yeah, 5'9", 150-pound. If you weighed him in water, he's all muscle. And when they're that short, you think they don't have anything to offer? No, low center of gravity. And he brought down that return specialist. So they spot the football. Still, it's pretty good field position for the Eagles as they find themselves at the 35-yard line. 1:21 to go, and they're down 8-0. Handoff, he's got it. And taking it, spinning once with a pirouette, and then brought down at the 38 is none other than the gifted Ashton Mitchell. As we go back in the time tunnel, and we think of that incredible CIF championship game, where, of course, the 44-42 victory over Valley Christian, no one will ever forget Mitchell's inspirational 198 yards to get that victory and bring the CIF title home to Lancaster. As Coach said about him, he played with heart and soul. He's out there right now. It's 2nd and 7, down to the 38-second mark of the first quarter. Play action. The throw on the flat. He's got it. Taking the move around the right side, avoids one. Remains on his feet. Another opening all the way up into the 38-yard line. I'm going to say Peter Atala, who made that great stop not too long ago. And remember, they're not known for having two-way players, but Atala is so talented, he's on offense and defense for the Eagles. Are they going to bring that back? The indignity of it all. Oh. Well, it was a great play, and it was out in the open, but obviously an infraction against this Lancaster squad, which is oh so very depressing as you make the long, again, laborious walk backwards. There was a famous general, I think of World War II, he goes, I don't want to buy back any of the territory I've won. And it's kind of like that in football. Football in a very militaristic way. He got that, and they did get that great yardage, but it's all for naught, as right now they're at their own 26-yard line, and I'm referring to Lancaster. Barking out signals right now, the quarterback, the angular one, and it is Lee Dinkins. Long count, grabs it with one hand, now he throws it quickly, open man, oh! Number 12 that time, Saul the Rock. Ashton Rigney, the talented receiver, he's got almost 400 yards in catching this year and 24 yards a catch, and that one would have been bigger than 24 because it was not only wide open, but there was the promised land, the chance for 6 points, and they'll come back, try it again. One thing, Rigney was caught, again, flat-footed for a moment there, and the ball was just flat out thrown over his arms and long fingertips. So that's the end of the first quarter, everyone. First quarter with highs and lows, peaks and valleys, upsetting, depressing moments, and exhilaration. So we're going to break as well, knowing it's 8-0 Antelope Valley, and we want to go down the field. Why take a break and have dead silence when Tiffany Johnson's down there? We're going down to her now. Tiffany?
Attention students, ASB cards are being sold for $25. ASB cards can be purchased at the student store and or online through the school's website. That will get you to every golden league game free, yes, free. Stop by the student store if you're at lunch.
What an eventful first quarter of this game tonight on AV High School's field, with the unfortunate injury of the Lancaster player going on to the first possession of AV High, being able to put 8 points on the board despite both of their unnecessary roughness calls being offsetting. They're able to push through and have it be 8-0 at the end of the first quarter. Back to you, Ronnie.
Tiffany Johnson, hey, you got to check out on L28 her new show, Tiff on the Town. Okay, that's out of the sports realm. The former Miss California and our very gifted sideline reporter, we're so thankful for her. Now, we swing into the second quarter. Ain't we having fun? Dinkins, I don't know if he is. They blow him out of the pocket. He's on his own running, and he is, again, we call him affectionately the angular one. 6'2", 140. Does he get his money's worth on the buffet line? But because of that, he moves with cat-like quickness around the side and was able that time to get a pickup. Let's see where they finally spot it. Or if they did, it was 4th and 17. So they're going to change sides right now. Antelope Valley will take over. He had a big run, but it wasn't enough. 11:53 to go here in the second quarter. 8-0 Antelope Valley. They're known as the Lopes. I believe that new University of Antelope Valley has called themselves the moniker, the Lopes, too. They work out of the NAIA. Yeah, 4th down now, so here's the punting unit on the field. Line drive variety kick. Oh, he scooped it up just like a shortstop. On his way, gets over one, on his feet, and then low bridged and knocked out of bounds. Oh, he was taunting big number 58 of Lancaster. He went right into his face, Angel Cardenas. Angel is 6'1", 265. I don't think you want to make any kind of open opinionating with Angel. But he did, because he was the nearest Eagle next to him. Anyway, great punt return that time. It's going to be 1st and 10 now. Let's see where they finally spot the football. Ronnie Wald, your game broadcaster on a broadcast solo bid. Ronaldus Maximus. Do you like it? Well, anyway, we're having a great time, hoping and praying that this game ends up and winds up as we go on here on in, injury-free. From a shotgun, their own quarterback's got it. Oh, he lost the handle. It's going to be a loose ball. It's recovered by the Eagles of Lancaster High. A breakdown that time on the part of quarterback, Ani Hawkins. The handoff was not clean. The ball ended up loose. And fortunately, on top of it, right there to recover, was Lancaster. Now the pendulum swings the other way. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. That's their, again, moniker. The sobriquet, of course, for this Antelope Valley team, the Antelopes. Antelopes and Eagles, natural predatory enemies, facing off tonight in Lancaster. I hope you're enjoying it. Back to work for Lee Dinkins. 39 of 98, 6 this year coming in this game, almost 800 yards passing, and he's got it. The bullet is caught. Nice one with a trio of antelopes around him. He was undaunted for good reason. He made the grab, and it's Ymir Bird, BYRD, the 5'11", 155-pound junior. Boy, did Dinkins put it in the right spot. And they're looking to try to tie this ball game with the ball spotted right now at the 15. Over on the right side. Good gain that time, and then knocked out of bounds hard one more time. They're leaving their calling card on the bodies right now of these Eagles. They came out, and they're playing that smash mouth brand of football. The ball carrier was Ashton Mitchell. Antelope Valley 8, Lancaster nothing. A game already marred by an injury, a broken leg, and a player off on his way to the hospital. We mention it because we know we have viewers coming in and out of the broadcast, so we just want you to know. But they're playing now, and for keeps, here's the throw. He made the catch. Was he in the end zone or out of the end zone? A flag is thrown inexplicably late that time. There's no designation from the Zebras at all about a touchdown, but what a fantastic catch that time. He had to climb the ladder for it. But as you know, high school and college game, all you have to do is drag 1 foot and you've got it. Pros, you need the 2 feet. And to that official, he said he didn't have either foot in. No, it was a touchdown. All right. My bad. I didn't see the designation from over here. What a catch. That even makes it better. Now they're going for their own version of the 2-point conversion. So here we go. Is he going to keep it or hand off? No, he's got Ashton with the ball. Ashton remains on his feet. Ashton gets into the end zone. It's 2 points to tie it up. And the game most definitely is going to be turning out, I feel, like one you won't want to leave your laptop, your iPhone, your tablet. Don't you dare go anywhere, because we now have a flat-footed tie, 8 apiece in this ballgame with 10:25 to go here in the second. So while they get ready for the kickoff, we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to Lancaster, California, and this Lancaster High School team answering in kind in the early stages of the second quarter with their own touchdown and their own two-point conversion, and there you have it, an 8-all tie, Antelope Valley and Lancaster. They should be fighting it out all the way. The chips are on the table. They're laying it on the line. Try to avoid cliches, but you know they're out there. And the best part, again, there were some hard feelings, and we saw it in evidence a few minutes ago. And fortunately, it didn't become a melee, thankfully. And everyone calmed down, and we got back to the game of football the way it should be. In this, the Battle of the Boulevard. A scant 3.5 miles. Oops, there's the kickoff, and it's straight up like a pop-up. And it's going to be taken by one of the front men there for Antelope Valley. And then knocked out of bounds, but they got outstanding field position right now at the 38. Anyway, a scant 3.5 miles separates these two schools on one boulevard. Not the Boulevard of Broken Dreams, the best boulevard in Lancaster, because it goes by our friendly Lancaster City Hall, home of L28. Yes, and right through downtown Lancaster. If you haven't been up to Lancaster lately in the high desert, you need to check out. It's not your grandfather's Lancaster anymore downtown. It's a great place to visit, great place for eateries, everything. Anyway, that same thoroughfare will take you due west from here straight to Lancaster High. And now the officials need to have a T-to-T, so to speak. And they're checking it out. The ball placed at the 39. The kick went straight up in the air. No real yardage gain, so this is a real opportunity, a real break right now for Antelope Valley to try to break this tie. Lancaster finishing up the season next week against Palmdale. Not easy at all. As for Antelope Valley, they'll have an easier time against Knight, but if they lose this ball game, the Knight game will be, no doubt, irrelevant. Yeah. Now here's a pitch out. Taking the football past the 35 to the 34 is the ball carrier for Antelope Valley. More than likely, it was our good friend, again, Melvin Butler. Butler, by the way, 40 for 220 yards. That comes out to a sterling 5.5 yards a carry. He's got 3 touchdowns as well. Going back in time, almost 1 year ago, well, it would be 1 year ago tomorrow, October 21st, 2022, and the ignominious streak ended for Lancaster. The long Death Valley, difficult situation of losing 10 straight years to Antelope Valley ended with a 40-32 victory. Now here's the handoff, a big opening. He will take it by himself. You better believe it. He's in for the touchdown. Yes, he is. He turned right. Then he made an illegal left turn. And then no doubt he put on the afterburners to get in. And I think the Highway Patrol Jugs gun would have picked up a speeding incident. Instead, it's a big touchdown, a wonderful run that time for Antelope Valley. The blockers were there. He followed them appropriately enough. And now it's 14-8. Lopes. Short for Antelopes. And I would say he was able to run across the desert like the great Antelope does himself. Very fluid motion. All right, 9:19 to go, 14-8. They want the 2-point conversion again, but they're stopped. Lancaster defense steps in, and now the score is going to stay at 14-8. Antelope Valley up by 6. So they didn't come out, which is money in the bank. They wanted the risky two-pointer, and they were denied. We'll be right back. 14-8, Antelope Valley. 9:19 to go in the half. We'll be back. You're listening and watching, again, an exclusive broadcast. Where else? Our friends right here at L28. They know how to have fun here at Antelope Valley, that's for sure. He just invented a new, I thought it was a rap song or something. I wasn't sure what it was. But he got me going over here. Thankfully, the camera wasn't on me, or they would have given me a notice of termination. 14-8, Antelope Valley. Here's your kickoff. A good one comes down to the 25. Here he comes with speed. That's Chowlin Hughes. Oh, he makes things happen, and he gets around 3 or 4, and finally dragged down into Antelope Valley territory. Chowlin Hughes. He is their secret weapon, no doubt about it. 706 all-purpose yards this year. He's also second on the team with 23 receptions for 441 yards. You wonder why Chowlin Hughes doesn't get more opportunities. I mean, he brings back kickoff returns, but he's a talented runner and a talented receiver. But they have those on the Lancaster team. So he becomes secret agent man. He's there when they need him. Utility man superbus. Yeah. Chowlin gets him all the way into Antelope Valley territory. Man in motion from the shotgun. Here's the handoff up the middle to Hughes. Hughes Corporation pushing forward. It is not technical football, I tell you. It's good old-fashioned smash mouth football. Say that 40 times in a row. Smash mouth football. Smash mouth. Well, that's it. We talked about a couple weeks ago a legendary NFL player who just passed away who exemplified that. You wonder if he ever did any X's and O's in any playbook. But he was a gifted coach who won the Super Bowl for Chicago Bears. But he was smash mouth on the field as a player. Mr. Dick Butkus. Well, we just saw a big pile. It reminded me of a rugby scrum there. But anyway, as a result, a pickup of 6. We're now at 2nd and 4 with the ball placed at the 40 of Antelope Valley. Lee Dinkins, the angular one. Quick throw on the left side, an out pattern. He goes forward and works his way up to the 30. Just smart football encompassing a blend of the run and short passes. And if you feel you like to gamble, you're a Mississippi gambler and you want to heave that rock, okay. But you'll find a lot more success if you keep it near Mother Earth, terra firma. Clock running, 8:14, 8:13, 8:12 to go here in the second. 14-8, Antelope Valley. Dinkins barking out signals. He does hand off. Hughes, it's a stutter step. Works his way around. He's still on his feet. Now, one more time, trying to elude 3 in a row, but he couldn't go through them. Ashton Mitchell. If there's any runner in the Golden League that invents more than him, he's a magician out there. A modern incarnation of a David Copperfield, inventing as he goes away. And oh no, he's limping. The one player they can't afford to lose. He's down. He couldn't even limp over to the sideline. Ashton Mitchell, the one that got the 198 incredible yards in the CIF championship last year, the one that they can't afford to lose under any circumstances. because he's got himself coming in this game 650 yards, 81 a game. And he's flavored that with 11 touchdowns. Oh, he's back up. He just flat out said, I can't go any further, and just went down on the turf. Now he goes about 10 feet, and he needs to see what has actually happened to him. The mind is willing, but the flesh is weak. He's walking with more rapidity right now. And the best part, it's on his own volition. He does make the sideline. I suspect some ice, and we will hope and pray that Mr. Mitchell's A-okay. And you know, again, he's one of those indispensable players. He can't afford to lose him. No way. 1st and 10 because he was able to pick up a first down on his own. Inside 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter, 14-8 Antelope Valley, but threatening is this Lancaster team. What are they going to do without, again, the running hijinks and the talent of a very gifted player, Ashton Mitchell? From the shotgun, Lee Dinkins. Lee's got it, surveys the field, fires away up the middle. Oh, if he had just made a good pass. The intended receiver, number 2, Challen Hughes, and there was space between him and the defender. That's always a good sign. That means you have a good chance to haul in the rock. But the throw was a bad one. He whipped it in there like a baseball pitcher, but it wasn't where it should have been. It was out of the strike zone. Okay, they'll plot strategy again. 2nd and 10 it is. 7:22 to go. The Lopes with the 6-point bulge. He wants to throw it. And now Patterin. It's almost picked off, and then it's dropped. A remarkable effort it was by Antelope Valley. But again, he wanted to make this remarkable catch on senior night, and one where he would never forget into his older years living life, because that would have been when he said, hey, I judged it, I picked it off, and then I scurried 70 proud yards northbound and down for the score. Instead, he just has the memory of almost. But there's no doubt his legs were moving before he caught that football. So, 3rd and 10. And I'll tell you, Lancaster really, dodged a bullet right there, if I may. They did. Man in motion. Dinkins has it on the shotgun. He's going to roll right. A quick throw, right side, right through the hands of the receiver, and that time it's not Dinkins' fault. Ashton Rickney should have made that catch. So 4th and 10. Will we see the field goal unit out? Kicking field goals is almost as rare as hen's teeth. But the ball carries in the high desert, elevations of 3,000 to 4,000. Okay, you don't have to have a superb kicker to get distance and nary a breeze tonight. It's not going to cause the ball to do what it does on the golf course to me. Shank it. Left a hook. Right. Tailing away called a shank. Okay, 7-11 it is. And they need a timeout. Everybody needs to talk about it. Antelope Valley 14. Lancaster 8. 7-11. Not Circle K, but 7-11. And we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. 7-11 it is, and that being here in the second quarter. Dinkins trying to figure this one out. It's 4th and 10. And the score, 14-8, Antelope Valley. Quick throw up the middle. He has to climb the ladder. It went through his hands, and then he was hit. Here come the flags. I'm going to tell you from this reporter's opinion, and 41 years doing this, I believe even though it was a hard hit, it was fair. The ball had already passed through his fingertips. He had more than enough time to make the grab and haul it in. The buttery potato syndrome, hot potato went flying through, and then the hit took place. But they won't have replay on this one. Oh, they're going to call a personal foul. As it came late, and that hit they feel was unnecessary. But that is the atmosphere now. Any kind of hard hitting, which is emblematic of what football is all about, what are you supposed to do? Send him a greeting card, a Hallmark card, and say, you know, I'm not going to touch you? Come on now. Kumbaya. So let's see how they're all going to work this one out. Penalty on Antelope Valley. They'll get another shot at it. Ball placed equidistant to the goal line. Oh yeah, he just said it, the PA announcer, half the distance. I had to be fancy with it. Okay. Half the distance if you want it. You're the PA man, main man here at Antelope Valley. Okay, so half the distance. Let's see where it's finally, ultimately spotted. And with 7:05 to go, yeah, 7:05 in the second quarter, okay? 14-8 Antelope Valley, and right now the Eagles threatening again. They've been knocking on the door. They're like a kid in a candy shop with their faces pressed up against the window, wanting to get the confection. Are they going to get into the candy shop? They might have to break in. All right, Dink is right there behind center. Handoff, appropriately enough. He's working his way in, and I think he's brought down just short of the end zone. Again, they don't have the benefit right now of Ashton Mitchell, who went off limping like a rabbit, a leg injury. That was number 10, Richard Howard. He's a senior. We haven't seen much of him, but if you're going to bring in a backup who doesn't get a lot of playing time, at least go with a senior. Yes, for good old time's sake, these are his final games as a high schooler, but he has experience. Yes, he does. All right, now we're down. They're going to give the first down. So they got 4 opportunities here to break through into the end zone. He could hold on to himself. Lee Dinkins, is he in? Another late flag and a hit. And look, they picked it up. It was a fumble. It was picked up right now by a lope. And he's now galloping like an antelope. 40, 30, 20. 1 man to beat and in for the score. There's flags out there, so please hold up on the cheering, on the exultation for the over the top, and find out exactly what the dispensation of it is. But you're thinking the Lancaster player is in. No, behind that crowd was a loose football, picked up beautifully in a 100-yard march. I guess you say General Sherman in the Civil War, 100-yard march to the sea. This one was just a 100-yard march north on the way to Edwards Air Force Base, Rosamond, and Mojave. And boy, did he show the speed, outran everybody. The flag still remains back there, a lonely yellow flag at the 5-yard line. And we have yet to know what has happened. But Lancaster is now back near their own end zone, and they are expecting right now this Antelope Valley team to come out and go for the 2-point conversion. And it is showing on the scoreboard it was a score. an over 100-yard fumble return. You may never see that again in your lifetime. So you can tell your children, your grandchildren, October 20th, 2023, you saw one of the greatest runs ever in high school, and quite possibly a record, because you can't get more than 100, right? Okay, handoff appropriately enough, right side, following blockers, and he's in for the 2 points. It seems anticlimactic, doesn't it, after that spectacular run for over 100 yards. But they'll take it any way they can. Another 2 posted on the scoreboard. Antelope Valley up 22-8 with 6:33 to go. We'll be right back. So glad you're with us. The PA announcer so very excited. He's making the exultation, the salutation to the audience right now, saying, what time is it? You hear it? It's Lopes time. Uh-huh. You got it. I'm feeling it. Ha, ha, ho, ho. Okay, it may never go Billboard Top 40, but they love it here again at Antelope Valley. And they got the score and the lead, much to the chagrin of Lancaster. 22-8 it is, 6:33 to go. Here's your kickoff. Oh, a very minor kickoff. They rely on the front end, the blockers, to just fall on it. It's not that they're not talented to bring it back out and run with it, but their primary function is to block for the fella in the back that's supposed to get it. So it's not bad ball position at all for this Lancaster squad at their own 35 to begin things 1st and 10 at the 6:28 mark of the second quarter. The second-year coach, Brandon Rivers. Already a CIF championship in the display case at Lancaster High. The gifted Jermaine Lewis played under the legendary Brent Newcomb, went on to UCLA, and he's been head coach for several years right here at Antelope Valley. Facing off mano-a-mano, Friday Night Lights in Lancaster. Quick throw on the run. Oh! Wondering if it's going to be pass interference because, again, the secondary was hanging all over the arm of Challen Lewis. Number 11, Christian Hicks, but they're going to say no. Forget it. And they go back to their appropriate places, and it is now 2nd and 10. Lancaster desperately needs to get back in this game. Their playoff hopes will be dashed with a loss tonight. They are the defending CIF champions. A lot is hanging on the line. They don't want it to get out of hand. They don't want Antelope Valley to keep scoring. It's like closing the barn doors after the horses are bolted. No, no, no. Okay, here we go. Stepping back. He's got lots of time. The sidewinder almost throws it away. Oh. Sleepless nights for that secondary. Number 7, Paris Brown. He had it right there. You're out there in the secondary, and you can play 100 games. Will the ball ever come right to you? Your job is anticipation, to go to where you think the ball might be. So he's scanning the field left. He's looking right. It's coming right at him. Isn't that an example of life? We never know or see what's right in front of us. At least Paris didn't that time. 6:15 to go in the second. 22-8 it is. Antelope Valley with the lead. They're trying to get back. They had a 10-year winning streak against Lancaster till last year. Here's the throw. Oh, there's some again pushing off. Chowlin couldn't get to the football. And now receiving the plaudits is the secondary, the safety for this Antelope Valley team, because with no flag means he did his job. Or at least he wasn't caught. That Bob Dylan lyric, it ain't illegal if you're not caught in Jersey, or something like that. That was number 11 again. That was Christian Hicks. Great job nonetheless. 6:08, 22-8. Here comes the punting unit, the finest punt of the evening. Now you see no atmospheric forces. It was just a great punt in high desert environment. A lot of distance, maybe 10 extra yards he wouldn't get if he was kicking in the San Fernando Valley. And they end up putting the knee down, and that's where they'll set up shop right now, Antelope Valley, at their own 35. Hey, we've readjusted our schedule here at L28. One game next week on the docket, Lancaster Baptist versus Santa Clarita, as we will wrap up the regular season next week at a very fine Lancaster Baptist program, school, if you will. Want to say hello to our good friend. We can't do it without her. Jennifer Seguin, the talented communications czar for the city of Lancaster. She is the straw that stirs the drink. Anyway, she's not with us tonight. It's not the same without her. Hope she's enjoying the game. And want to tell you personally, Jennifer, from this reporter, this is a game exemplified by a lot of highs and lows. We've tried to bring that across here. And right now at this juncture of the ball game, 5:58 to go, 22-8 it is. Oh, there come the flags. Flag season in bloom right now. And we'll see if it is against Antelope Valley. Yes, they're starting to march backwards right now, and they're spying the football. It's placed at the 28. So it looked like a minor 5-yard offense. 1st and 15. The quarterback, Ani, O-N-N-I-E. Last name, Hawkins. The Hawk. He's going to keep it on the ground, though, giving it off to Melvin Butler, a pickup of 2 on the left side. We'll have some great halftime festivities. They're gearing up, and we hope we get the camera on. Again, the Marching and Chowder Society, the drill team here at AV. They're really talented, AVHS. But also, time to check in with Tiffany Johnson again at the half. Looking forward to it. Don't you dare miss it. Here's the give. No, he instead throws the football. Had us fooled up here. And as a result, did get a completion, but not much. A gain of 3. They'll take it. With that clock running at the 5:08 mark of the second quarter, Antelope Valley's the one with their largest lead of the ball game. It's 14 points. It's a precarious situation. Lancaster on the road doesn't want to fall any further behind. They had to face a very tough loss last week and get it out of their system. They almost upset Highlands last week. A 5-point loss. Now, you have the ups and downs of the season, and in this game, they're solidly behind. Here's the hole. They heave down the right side, and it's way over the head of the intended receiver. Ani has a great arm, and when he starts modulating it, he'll be very special as a quarterback. This year, by the way, he's very effective, 29 of 45, 64%, and a rating of 129, so he is talented. Tiffany's got some great interviews coming up, and look at that movement on the line. Oh. And offsides. No such thing as encroachment really on the high school level. It's all offsides. Whoever's in the neutral zone first, that's the offending party. 4:24 remaining. As I was mentioning, Tiffany will be speaking to a coach. And number 1, is that Kwan Sims? Number 1 on the Lopes or number 1 on the Eagles? That would be Peter Atala. Well, she'll be right there. And we're going to break to her as soon as possible. Here's the handoff, and boy, they're all over him. Okay, a lot of physicality in that, but you're not going to see any flags thrown. It was a clean stop on the part of Lancaster. No late hits, nothing like that. So on a 4th down, unable to do anything with it, we'll bring on a 1st down right now. 4:20 remaining, 22-8, Antelope Valley. And taking over right now, Lancaster. And with outstanding field position, but they'll have to move quickly at this 4:20 remaining here in the second quarter. They're down by 2 touchdowns. Dinkins with it at the 40. He's going to hold on to it by himself. Gets around 1, and then they grab him from behind. He's 6'2", and number 2, Denham Clark. Yeah, like Denham, Levi's. Denham was all over him. He's only 5'10". The senior brought him down. Senior brings down senior on senior night here at AVHS. Now we're inside 4 minutes to go at the 3:47 mark. 22-8 it remains. And they dearly love to have a score as they go into the locker room. Runner in motion, play action, no. He does hand it off. Oh, it's loose ball. It's recovered. Loose ball all the way, recovered by Antelope Valley. Lee Dinkins knows it was a mix-up, a complete mix-up. For a moment in time, it looked like the man in motion wanted it. Then he turned around and handed it to the running back, and he never really had the handle on the football. So now things turn around 180 degrees, and an opportunity right now for Antelope Valley to pad their lead. Remember now, they're up by 14, 3:32 to go, and they're at their own 36-yard line. The Battle of the Boulevard. Plenty of emotion. There's no battles rougher or tougher than civil wars and ones where it's brother versus brother, and we see it in evidence tonight right here at historic Newcomb Stadium. They call it Mays Field still, but it's Newcomb Stadium. Nowhere to go, caught behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss right now for the Antelopes. .318, .317, .316. A game held up because of a horrific injury. Player named Balou, B-A-L-O-U, a Lancaster player with a broken fibula, hauled off to the local hospital halfway through the first quarter. That cast a pall over this audience in this game, but right now they're getting back into it with the opportunity of more points for their team that's 2 touchdowns ahead. Here's a quick pitch out, left side, and knocked out of bounds. Oh, in an act of true altruism, they helped up the Antelope player there. So a nice clean hit, it wasn't dirty, and then after they knocked him, not senseless, but again out of bounds, helped him up. That'll do a lot for the communal spirit here and everyone getting along again after whoever's going to, again, place blame on that broken leg. And when people always seem to come down to the same conclusion, it's part of the game. 2:35 to go, 22-8. They see the football at their own 39, and now the quarterback, Ani, has to go and ask for some instructions or try to help out the ball carrier, and he does take it. And there's your late flag, and we'll see what that's all about. Even though the Lancaster faithful only had to come to 3-4 miles down Lancaster Boulevard, they're not in great attendance over there on their side of the field. But a good full house on this side as we're high above this, the western sideline at Newcomb Stadium. Well, there's your infraction. We're walking it back, and it's obviously against the Antelopes. We'll be going to Tiffany very quickly once we're finished again and coming to the conclusion of the second quarter. She'll have some interviews lined up down there. You don't want to miss it. 22-8, Antelope Valley. Right now on their own 30. From a shotgun, Oni, last name Hawkins. There was movement on the line, no flags from the official. Apparently the Lancaster end did not pass into the neutral zone. A quick throw between coverages, and he's whipped around. He's spun around. Remember the tilt-a-whirl ride at the, again, Antelope Valley Fair? That was a version of it, but he didn't have to pay for a ticket to ride. He was spun around like a whirling dervish. Right now, he's probably seeing stars on this starless night here in the high desert. Okay, 1:21 remaining, clock running, 22-8. Antelope Valley over Lancaster. They find themselves at their own 45-yard line. And here we go. They give, quarterback keeper. He runs into one. It didn't matter. The second one did bring him down. He is a scamperer. Yeah, scurried about. I like it. Ani Hawkins, with that great passing rating, keeps it on the terra firma. He's brought down. It's going to be a first down. But right now the clock, the greatest nemesis for this Antelope Valley team, with 44 seconds to go. Here's the throw, right side. Great grab up the middle between coverages. Oh, he eludes one. He's still on his feet. He tries to get around another. Flag on the field. He gets away from the other. He's into the end zone. What is the flag all about? We'll find out on one of the great scurrying runs we've seen this year. Antelope Valley really turning on the afterburners. A moment ago, a 100-yard fumble return, and now this one, they grabbed him, they tried to drag him down, they clawed at him, they tried to bring him down, they grabbed his forearm, it didn't matter. They even grabbed his Achilles heel, and it just slipped off like water off a duck's back. Think of it. And in for the score, and yes, it was a touchdown. The flag and the penalty must have been against Lancaster, and they now find themselves refusing the penalty. The officials out there in the middle, they have posted 28-8 on the scoreboard. They added the 6 points. Oh, they're taking it away. How sad it is. Look at that backwards motion of that digital scoreboard. You hate to see that if you're a football fan, and particularly an Antelope Valley fan. They take it away. It was an infraction. Now 27 seconds to go. Here's the throw, and it is incomplete. Waiting for a word from my great producer, Annabelle. She was just in here a moment ago, but there was so much excitement, I had to ignore her. It wasn't personal. But I suspect we'll be going down to Tiffany momentarily, presently, as soon as we can. 24 seconds remaining. They lose the 6 points. It's back to 22-8 Antelopes. They're from the right hash mark. It's 1st and 10. Still looking for a score. Quick throw on the flat. He's got it. He shakes. He bakes. He works up the middle. He's got wide open. He'll dance in for a touchdown. Number 11. Wow, he's fun to watch. Christian Hicks. And another flag. Let's see if they're going to bring it back. There was a flag on the play. We haven't seen the 6 points put on the scoreboard. It's another infraction against Antelope Valley. That has to be so deflating for the cumulative coaching staff and the fans here at Newcomb Stadium. They lost 2 opportunities for a score at this late stage, and now with 15 seconds to go, still up 22-8. And now going backwards after a penalty back to the 32-yard line, or check that, yes, 32 of Lancaster. But 15 seconds ago, they have another shot at it. This may be the last play of the half, so we're going to go right down to Tiffany for some outstanding interviews that she's going to put together. She's conducting down there. So we'll keep an eye on this one. He doesn't like the Hail Mary. If he throws it under coverages, he depends on his talented receivers to invent and work their way through the maze. Here he goes. Uh-oh, under intense pressure. Pump fake, a trio of Eagles. He does get it off, but it's just something they do bring him down at the 20. And the clock will run out. 2, 1. There you have it in the first half. A very strange first half. But Antelope Valley the lead, 20-8. Now let's send it down to the sideline for our talented sideline reporter, Tiffany Johnson.
Coach, first half, lots of back and forth, lots of penalties, but that scoop and score, talk us through that.
I mean, it was just a great play. It's about time, ball bounce our way. That's we always tend to be on the opposite end of that, so it's good to, get some momentum and stuff like that, and get a big play.
AV High is in a great lead right now. What are you going to say to the boys in the locker room to keep that momentum going?
Just so them to understand that it's not over. We set out what we needed to do, what we wanted to do, and we'll just come out and just play with some pride and see if we can get a W.
Looking forward to the second half, Coach. See you soon. Back to you, Ronnie.
Yeah, I take your attention to center field for our Lopes cheerleaders. gentlemen, we are aiming at our Capture Cure Lopes race. If everyone pays attention, takes your attention to the north side of the field, you will see our breast cancer awareness flag flown by our own Lope. And all of our young Lopes are going to chase and capture the cure. All right, is everyone in position? Ready, on your marks, get set, go! As the Lopes running down low past the 10-yard line, going to 20. Capture that cure, going all the way to the other side, aiming at the other Lopes flags on the other side. Let's go, Lopes, almost there. Go! All right, almost there, keep going, keep running. You're gonna make it, you're gonna make it. Gotta get everyone across, everyone across. Almost there. 35, 30, 25, 20, keep going, keep going. 15, 10-yard line, 5, and they go back. 50-yard line, don't leave any man behind, or girl. Come on, those cheerleaders, you got this. Taking up the rear. Almost there, keep going, you're almost there, gonna make it. Gonna make it to 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and go! Huge thank you to all participants in our Capture a Cure race.
again, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to remind everybody this game is being broadcast on the City of Lancaster, channel L28. It can be seen on the internet at facebook.com/City of Lancaster CA. We need all individuals off the field, please. All individuals off the field. Thank you. ROTC, gentlemen, off the field, please, off the field. Thank you.
We are coming into the second half of AV High School versus Lancaster High School football game. Lopes are in the lead 22-8. To say the first half of the game was dynamic is an absolute understatement. Within the first quarter, Lancaster unfortunately lost a player, Mikey Below, to a possible broken leg, but they continued to push on. However, there was so much back and forth, lots of key penalties and turnovers that actually helped AV High School to stay in the game. If it wasn't for the turnovers and specifically a scoop and score by number 1 of AV High School, full 100 yards, getting in a touchdown, they wouldn't be up 22-8. I'm looking forward to seeing how head coach Jermaine Lewis was able to keep these AV High School players motivated to keep this momentum and keep that lead on the scoreboard. Back to you, Ronnie.
Last home game of the regular season.
And welcome back, everyone. Ronnie Wald on a broadcast solo bid. Very interesting night tonight here at Antelope Valley. And why? Because unfortunately, halfway through the first quarter, a player not even listed on our roster, last name Ballou, found himself with a broken fibula, a broken leg, which is always horrific and problematic and tragic for a teenager. Hauled off in an ambulance off the field in front of all the fans here and taken to Antelope Valley Hospital, and we don't have a prognosis, a disposition, an analysis, nothing. We don't know his progress and what shape he's in. But as soon as we find out, we're going to let you know, of course. So thanks for holding on. The game takes on a secondary importance after you see something like that. But here we are, and we're starting the second half with Antelope Valley with the 22-8 lead. A short kick to begin things to Antelope Valley. They've got the football now, trying to get to midfield, and ultimately stopped at around the 45. Their quarterback, not Ronnie, that's me. It's Ani Hawkins, who came in with a remarkable 64% completion record. And I love his rating. His rating's up there in the ionosphere. It's 129. And he was able to get untracked in the second half, and that's where Antelope Valley was able to pull away from this Lancaster team. And right now, with a few seconds elapsed here in the third quarter, it's 22-8 Antelopes of Antelope Valley, known affectionately as Lopes. The moniker for Lancaster High, the Eagles. There you have it. Okay, with the ball spotted at the 45. Man in motion right now. They're the black-clad squad with the red pant. Takes off right now and slides into midfield like he's sliding into second base. Maybe a gain that time of 4. We'll see what they say on the scoreboard. So after we got past that tragic time, then we saw a little bit of frustration and emotions erupting in this game. And for some reason, both coaches was able to get control of their respective teams and not allow a Donnybrook to take place here tonight. And both teams focused on the game at hand. Here's the handoff, off tackle, works it up 3 yards. And as I noted, being around it myself, in broadcasting 1982, hello, I've seen that ambulance come out. And many times in my prayers I say, oh, I hope I never see those flashing lights come on a football field again. And it happened tonight. It happened tonight. So again, if we find out anything, his condition, we'll get it to you as quickly as possible. By the way, this is called the Battle of the Boulevard. They have played and faced off against one another year after year after year. In fact, Lancaster lost 10 years straight until last year. Quick throw on the flat. This is a big gain right now for the Lopes. Drags him down, spins him, but he's almost like incredible Velcro player Christian Hicks. You can knock him down. You can abuse him. You can turn him around like that tilt-a-whirl ride at the Antelope Valley Fair, and he comes out of it every time. Christian is the 5'11 senior from Lancaster. The gain was good enough for a first down. Now we're inside 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Again, Antelope Valley with the solid 2-touchdown lead. It's fair enough to say that the playoff hopes will be dashed for this Lancaster team if they come up on the losing end tonight here at Holcomb Stadium. Now taking the football, and he's not going to get far at all, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Brent Newcomb Stadium. And the field beyond the stadium, which was renovated in 2009, it's a beauty. The field is called Mays Field, and I know we mentioned it earlier, and people say, Ronnie, you're repeating yourself. Watch out. No, people coming in and out of the broadcast, so we repeat for their benefit that Mays Field out there has been there since 1912, okay? And a young man would play out there. His name was Marion. He was a man, a boy, but with that name, Marion, who grew up here during his formative years. As this handoff right side, a big gain, major opening, remains on his feet. They can't trip him up, and works his way up to the 15-yard line. Outstanding. And he put on the afterburners. So sometimes it requires one to follow the blockers. The other time is like the Pomona Fairgrounds and the Winter National Drag Races. You got to floor it. You got to floor it. And he made it all the way to 15. Anyway, that young man, his name was Marion. He rode his horse 4 miles from the house to school into Lancaster daily and would play football here. He wasn't enrolled here, but he played football here and went on to play at USC. Marion. But you know him better as John Wayne. Yeah. Spent his formative years in Lancaster and played on Mays Field. This is a pitch out and a gain of only 1, and we're at the 8-minute mark here in the third quarter. And the horse he rode to town stopped at Mays Field and went into town to school. They called it the Duke. So therefore, the horse was known as Big Duke, and that he was Little Duke, and Duke Wayne was a nickname that stuck with John Wayne his whole life and career. All that started in Lancaster. 7:27 to go. 22-8 it is. And Antelope Valley threatening. We all know about the 35-point differential. That's when the clock will not stop in the fourth quarter. It'll just keep running. Oh, he's grabbed. Oh, he tried to pull away. I mean, they hung on to his ankles. They hung on to his feet. He tried to slither away, but couldn't. And that'll bring on right now 2nd and 10. Ball spotted around the 14. I'm going to say 15. With these two schools 3.5 miles apart. Yeah. With the city of downtown Lancaster. Yeah, it's closer to Antelope Valley High School, but, you know, let's face it. It's like in the middle, the dividing line. For the Passions, on the west side of town for the Eagles, and the east side of town for these Antelopes. And they're connected by Lancaster Boulevard. 6:21 to go, barking out signals. Here's the throw. He's got the grab. He tries to work into the end zone, and he does, or does he? No, I don't see that zebra. He put his arms up high in the air. I thought it was a touchdown. He did make the grab. It was a completion, but he didn't make it into the promised land. He ended up being a yard short. They'll feel good about that. 1st and goal to go for the Antelopes. 6:13 remaining in this, the third quarter. In this historic L28 Sports broadcast, branching out from the news and features, which will still be there. Tip on the Town is a new show, as Here's the Give, up the middle. Did he make it in? Waiting for the official's designation. No, there's a flag out there to negate everything. Anyway, Tip on the Town, our own Tiffany Johnson, our sideline reporter, she is the hostess of that. Hostess with the mostess. And you can depend on L28 for that. But branching out into the sports realm. Back in the day, there were local radio stations that would cover all the sports here. They're few and far between. L28's now stepping in the breach and filling a role here for the Antelope Valley. 500,000 plus denizens in the valley. That's no small place. Proud to do it. Want to thank Jason Caudle, the very gifted and visionary city manager for Lancaster, going for the 2-point conversion. No, just going for the score. Was unable to score last time, so try it again. Undaunted as they continue to try to push forward. And I'll say this. Oh, there's another flag. The gifted and talented coach Jermaine Lewis. He was so good in the senior presentation before the game. Not only did I want to get some facts and background from him on the broadcast, but I told him he should open up in Vegas because he's good with that cordless mic. Nevertheless, he had a lot of praise for Lancaster. But you know, in the back of his mind, he was thinking about that tumultuous loss last year at Lancaster, 40-32. That took place 1 year ago tomorrow. It'll be difficult for Lancaster, after winning the CIF title, to not even make the postseason the next time. From the penthouse to the outhouse. Still waiting for the designation on the flag. This has been a long affair, starting again with, that very sad moment on the field when that player was down and was taken to the hospital. But now a bevy of flags that have arrived in the second quarter and going on now, and this game has slowed down like a snail. Football is known for moving forward, and this game is getting into, again, sleepy time. All right, it's going to be against Antelope Valley. Between the two teams, no team is more chagrined tonight than Antelope Valley. They've been denied and penalized. I don't have a statistician, but I can tell you easily they have lost a lot of yardage due to the Zebras tonight. All right, play action. He wants to throw on the right side. An out pattern and immediately hit and brought down over there. Your receiver, Ashton Rigney, or check that. The receiver was Kawan Sims Jr., leading the team with 319 yards coming into this ball game. And a fine throw from Hawkins. But wait a minute. Just like that, the officials say no way. You can forget it. And a penalty assessed. 5:54, by the way, remaining in this, the third quarter. It's 22-8, Antelope Valley. They're looking for more. They're looking for insurance. They're looking for padding. A 3-touchdown lead will bring them that. They won't rest on their laurels, but you know they'll feel a lot more comfortable in cruise control going into the fourth quarter. Yep, another penalty. That completion disallowed. Ball spotted at the 19. They've been going in reverse. Uh-oh. Stumbles a bit. Throws it in the waiting hands of Lancaster. He picks it off. Now how far will he go with it? Just to the 25. Oh, so Lancaster, undaunted themselves, hanging in there, saying, hold up there. If they end up getting back in this ball game, that interception will be pivotal, no doubt about it. Now they have a chance to march downfield and cut into the 2-touchdown lead of Antelope Valley. And their quarterback ready to come out now, LD, Lee Dinkins. 6'2", 140. The angular one. It's fun to watch him run the football, but he's not known for that. Coming in this game, he has acquired almost 800 yards passing this year. All right, barking off signals, and now pitch back. Taking it, is that Chowlin? It's 0, Jacob Walker. He was hit hard. Time and time again, the defense of the Lopes has sent its calling card straight into the grill of this Lancaster team. And they remember it. Banged up and bruised, possible chiropractic appointments on Monday. 5:13, clock running, 22-8, and right now Lancaster at their own 28-yard line. 2nd and 7. Man in motion right now. That being Shakir Friedman. He wants to throw it on the run. Oh, through the fingers again. So many golden moments tonight, and they have been disrupted by the inability to make the clutch catch, and that time it was Jameer Bird. And if he had caught it, he would have been free as a Jameer Bird on his way. Instead, it's 3rd and 7. Hey, folks, I'm going to take a sip of Coke right now. I'm going to come in. Hold it. True refreshment. All right, back to live action, and now they themselves in a precarious situation behind the 8 ball. 3rd and 7. The man in motion. He looks at him, Rock wants him. He hit hard, but he got the pass off, and it's caught. A quartet of low. Surrounding him, but number 22 made the grab. It was Jameer Bird. Redemption for Jameer. He blew it over here a moment ago, and what a catch there in traffic just now. By the way, I'm not working with instant replay right here, but that was a ferocious hit the quarterback Dinkins took when he released that football. Let's see if he has his senses about him. A hit like that, like I said, it's a starless night. He's seeing stars right now. Let's see if he pulled out of it. Steps back, surveys the situation, under intense pressure, flushed out, the throw is knocked away with a great bit of defensive work, and all night long, there was an announcer for San Diego Padres. Baseball doesn't matter. And he had this one term I'm going to say about Christian Hicks. Hang a star on that, baby, because Hicks has been one of those guys on defense that doesn't show up on the scorebook, but he has been an essential part of this team. And without a doubt, he's the reason they're leading by 2 touchdowns now, and it's going to come out to a 2nd and 10 situation for the Lancaster Eagles. Eagles and Antelopes. Birds of prey versus a very loving animal. At war right now here in Lancaster. A sweep, left side, student body sweep, but he didn't get enough of the student body to block in front of him, so the gain is only back to the line of scrimmage. 405, 404, 403. There you have it. 3rd and 10. If you're joining us late, it's the white clad with the red trim, that is, Lancaster High School team versus a very attractive uni. Black top, red pant, and a black helmet. it evokes fear in the opponent. It's really something to see. Okay, now, Dinkins, something to see for him is a receiver. That one in the seam. He was able to split the needle right there beautifully and get the first down for Lancaster. You can go out in your drills and you can practice till kingdom come, but there are 1,001 situations and movements of players that dictates. And if you're a talented quarterback, you're going to make decisions almost like a computer mind of your own to try to decide. It's like a personal AI, and that's what Dinkins did right there. Instead, he keeps on the ground this time. A big opening, a cavernous opening. He's still on his feet, amazingly, working to the 38-yard line. A Grand Canyon opening that time. So they were fooled. He thought they'd go back to the air. Nice play calling on the part of Dinkins and head coach Rivers. Brandon Rivers won the most remarkable game last year for the CIF title and brought a lot of plaudits and interest in Lancaster football for all the high schools to get the vaunted CIF title. Now he's fighting for his life. 22-8, gets out of one problem in the pocket, throws it away, and ultimately trying to make the grab over there, number 22. It's Yamir Bird. He's really using him as an option here in the second half. So it shows the mettle, M-E-T-T-L-E, of the defense. Sure, they were able to make good movement over here, but when it gets close down there into the danger zone, and I'm talking about the 30 or the 20 or near the red zone, that's when Antelope Valley's really tightening the screws. Here we go. Play action. He's holding on to it. Dinkins on his way. All arms, all legs, all knees, all ankles, and oh, he goes down. I'm going to say he just tripped. There was nothing toward that time on the part of Antelope Valley. He just fell over one of those yard markers. But what a great, again, open field move on the part of Lee Dinkins. Like I said, all elbows, knees, legs. It wasn't pretty. Everything but the kitchen sink on that type of run, and he got a big gain. There's your flag on the field. What's that all about? Very deflating when your team is moving and the flag comes in and just shuts it down. And yes, unfortunately, if you are an Eagle fan, a moment of deflation right now. They didn't deflate the football like the Patriots. It's talking about a personal deflation, your passion, your happiness, joy for the game. And now they go all the way back to the 38. 2:15 to go in the third. So 42, that is, 42-yard line of Antelope Valley. Dinkins, you don't know he's going to pull out of his sleeve. Now, let's see if he's going to run, throw. He does want to throw it. Line drive. It's into the hands of the receiver. He's got it. He's spun around and then thrown out of bounds at the 16. How nice it was. Again, if you're a Lancaster fan. Yeah, Yamir Bird again. After a player gets several receptions in a row, you'd think they start keying on him, double or triple teaming him. But they continue to stay with them. They're having great success throwing it to Yamir. Instead, they're going to keep it on the ground. This one, a nice gain. And brought down roughly at the 10-yard line. Devin Varela, but I'm not sure. But great gain, and that was a first down. Clock running out on the third quarter. Compared to the rest of the game, the third quarter has been a walk in the park. All right. 1:14 22-8, and trying to slice into that lead right now. Can they do it? In hostile territory on the road at Antelope Valley. Uh-oh. Offside, but it's on Antelope Valley this time. The old adage that was a silly penalty, it's going to hurt Antelope Valley because it just brings Lancaster closer to the goal. If they can punch it in, they're going to bring it within 22-14. And again, we don't know if they're going to go for a two-point conversion. Uh-oh, he goes after the quarterback. He's sacked. And he's upset. He's very irate. Where was the flag? Because he obviously blitzed, but the quarterback Dinkins is thinking, no, he was so offside, it's ridiculous. He threw down the football. That's a penalty no matter what, right there on the spot against Lancaster. He was fit to be tied. So the blitz was on. The quarterback said he didn't have a chance to think back there. Take a breath. Think about it. No time for play action. No time to run it. No time to throw it. And they're going to go backwards with 38 seconds to go on a major penalty, unsportsmanlike, and no doubt because you just can't lose your cool out there. I don't care who you are. Wow, what a difference a penalty makes as they find themselves so close to being able to score, and now all of a sudden back at the 30. By the way, 38 seconds to go here in the third. It's been a game of fits and starts, push and shove, and one I'm sure the fans here will never forget. Not just the fact that the player broke his leg, but it's been one true mano-a-mano battle tonight here at Newcomb Stadium. Scoreboard showing 2nd and 10, but you know it's going to be quite a bit. I mean, what a major penalty to set them back that far. All right, here they go one more time. Dinkins steps back, surveys the field. He's going to take off. He's got to get around the one man. He does with his great speed. And then on the sideline, he virtually on his lonesome made up for all those penalty yardages just a moment ago. The remarkable Lee Dinkins. He didn't want it that way. He audibled at the line of scrimmage. He had no one to throw to, no one to hand it off to, so he did it himself. So if you left us, for whatever reason, for 3 minutes, you wouldn't have known they were pushed back to the 30, but they made it all the way to where they were before. Third down and goal to go as they find themselves with another opportunity knocking on the door right now, but 8 seconds in the quarter. And just like that, the coaches need a timeout. They need to confer with their teams. That's how important this game is. For Lancaster, the opportunity to go a playoff. For Antelope Valley, less to be the spoiler, but they have some hopes being, I would say, on the end of the bubble to go into the postseason. Again, with 8 seconds to go in the third, 22-8 Antelope Valley. We'll be right back. Okay, here's the skinny right now from Newcomb Stadium. Again, as you know, a 2-touchdown lead for Antelope Valley, but a scant 8 seconds to go here in the third. Threatening is this Lancaster team. It finds itself with the ball spotted on the 9-yard line of Antelope Valley. Here it comes. Will he run it? He steps back, a bit of a stutter step. He wants to throw it. He's got an open receiver over there. He makes the catch, pushed out of bounds at the 2-yard line. A senior's patience, a senior ability to read the field and not become flustered or out of sorts. That's Dinkins. By the way, when he made that throw, the clock ran out on the third quarter. Hey there, football fans. We're headed to the fourth. Love to have you aboard. And don't forget, L28 bringing you all the action of a final quarter here, and the score 22-8, Antelope Valley. And while we have this chance, a moment in time that I thoroughly enjoy. Let's throw it down to Tiffany on the sideline. Hoorah.
We are coming into the final quarter of the Lopes versus the Eagles, and there weren't any added points to the board within the third quarter. Lopes are still leading 22-8 in the beginning of the third quarter. Lancaster was putting on the pressure with their defense with that interception with 5 minutes left in the third, continuing to push forward with their offense, but then AV's defense lit up some fire with a sack within Lancaster's red zone. Unfortunately, at the end, Lancaster wasn't able to complete their pass to get into the end zone, but AV High School is still shining through. Hopefully in the fourth quarter, they continue this momentum, and we get to see a win for their last home game. Back to you, Ronnie.
Okay, Tiffany, great job. I think of that TV show theme when I think of Tiffany. She turns the world on with her smile. And she really had so much to this broadcast and gives me a badly needed break as we swing into the fourth quarter. Now we're headed towards the northern goal. Look who it is. Dinkins wants it. Oh, the hot pursuit. He's in trouble. How will he get out of it? And now he goes the other way, and he's grabbed from behind. The hot pursuit was on. Like a cougar going after its prey, and they would not relent. And when Lee Dinkins came back the other way, they grabbed him from behind. Carnivores all. 11:50 to go in this ball game. Coming down to the bitter end. 22-8, Antelope Valley, and Dinkins in a real jackpot over there, a quagmire, and finds himself at the 22. Lancaster has done all they can to try to get in to the end zone. They haven't been heard from since the fourth quarter. Antelope Valley has ratcheted up its defense and have been a formidable obstacle keeping Lancaster out. Every time they get close, they are denied. And Lancaster, even with this win, still may not make the playoffs. But I'm going to tell you something. If they get a W tonight here, this will be the biggest win of the year for Antelope Valley, no doubt. Inspirational win against the team that beat them last year. We'll just have to see how it all shakes out. Dinkins again. Dinkins looking, and then it turned over instead back as they bring down the ball carrier. Dinkins must have been on a fourth down situation. My bad. As it turns out, it is Antelope Valley football. My apologies. They had it. They tried to go forward. They got 3 yards. And that was it. 11:38 remaining in this ball game. And we're talking about 22-8. If Lancaster just could have cashed in on their several opportunities to get close, but they couldn't. Last year, the two teams came up with a cumulative 72 points in that game at Lancaster. In this one, a scant 30. Go figure. The quarterback again, Ani Hawkins. By the way, Ani runs once in a while. He has accumulated himself 472 yards passing, but 86 on the ground. But nobody's going to go anywhere that time. Leading the pack, it was a trio of Eagles, and Richard Howard leading the way to bring down the ball carrier. But they'll have to move quickly. Again, the clock. The clock is the greatest nemesis right now, dashing the hopes of Lancaster. They need a stop. They need the big T, the turnover. They need possession of that football, and it can only be acquired by their defensive unit giving their offense opportunity. They got to do it now. It's 2nd and 10. So close to offsides there and getting into the neutral zone. All of them looked at the official, and the official said nothing happened. Here's the handoff off tackle, a gain of 2. Battle of the Boulevard. By the way, if you're interested, we won't be covering it, but Lancaster plays Palmdale at home. They've already lost to Highland, both undefeated in the Golden League. And, of course, a more irrelevant game. Knight is having all kinds of problems this year, and the Lopes will battle Knight next week to wrap up the regular season for both teams. 9:22, 9:21, 9:20. A form of water torture right now for Lancaster. Drip, drip, drip. Movement finally on the line, and finally the official acquiesces and accepts the fact that these guys are really nervous on the offensive and defensive line. I mean, these guys are peripatetic. They're nervous on the line. They make coffee nervous. Everybody wants an edge. A very bizarre game tonight. Very bizarre. We're still proud to bring it to you on L28 under any conditions. A final regular season broadcast for us next week, and then on to the playoffs. Here's the handoff. He does have it. Remains on his feet. Past midfield. All the way to the 46-yard line. Maybe 47. Okay, they fixed the scoreboard. This is a major controversy here. We worked it out. It's a 4th quarter, yeah. We've toiled through it all. We're still standing. Oh, movement on the line. And nobody could deny that one. Everybody's really edgy out there. You pull that on the 14 in the morning driving to L.A., and you've got fender benders. Here, it's just a yellow flag. Wouldn't it be nice out there when, before they pull you over on the Antelope Valley Freeway, they just throw a flag instead of a ticket? Anyway, as for this ball game, Antelope Valley can't seem to get the big score and break through and put this away. There's something wrong. I mean, Lancaster, give them credit for staying relatively close. Oh, they knock him hard. That's Ani Hawkins that hit it. It was dead on, head-on collision. But he remained on his feet. Hope he's okay. So they'll take a moment now just let the quarterback have a sense of himself and make sure he's A-okay. Fourth quarter, 7:03 to go. If the first half only moved, again, with this speed, and they're not doing a running clock, you only get that with a 35-point disparity. Right here it's 14 points. 6:49 to go. He's got it on the handoff, off tackle, and then brought down, and that was number 15, Chance Baranje, 6 foot, 160-pound senior. Now we move into another faction status of this ball game, away from, again, this Antelope Valley team trying to score. Now their imprimatur is to, again, squeeze out that clock, to burn up the clock, and deny any opportunity offensively for Lancaster to get it back. Stay on the ground, keep getting first downs, and watch the clock work against this Lancaster team. Makes no sense to go for the big score and it comes up empty and you're giving Lancaster another offensive opportunity. Anyway, slowing up considerably. The clock has been stopped at 6:01. The official goes out, talks to both teams. Now backs up. And the officials have had their hands full tonight, haven't they? Now with the clock running again at 5:56 remaining in the ballgame. It's been 22-8, it seems forever. But with a talented coach, and he's having a tough year at Antelope Valley, but that doesn't take away from his pedigree and his football IQ, Jermaine Lewis, they're going to now go to a very slowed down football game. They're going to keep it on the ground, and there he does it. Get a gain of 2 or 3 on a 3rd and 6. Not the first down. Now here comes an important moment in the ball game. 4th and 2. You believe in your offensive line and your runner to try to get the first down. If they get the first down, it's probably the death knell for Lancaster. It's probably it. If Lancaster can hold them, they'll get an inspirational boost out of it. They'll find themselves at their own 40, and it could turn around the big momentum in this game. This is a very significant play going on right now. Let's see how it all shakes out. 4:47 on the clock. A 14-point lead for Antelope Valley, and they're going for it on 4th down. Oh, movement on the line. False start, so they're going to blame Antelope Valley for leading them, trying to make Lancaster fall into the neutral zone. Now they'll pay for it. Goodbye to the 4th and 2. This might change the strategy completely. And would he send the punter out now as it goes to 4th and 8? I'm just surmising. Looks like they are going to go for it, and the punter is persona non grata. The punter is nowhere to be found. One thing people love high school and college, more freewheeling, more willing to take risks. When jobs are on the line in the NFL and coaches are fired summarily so quickly, they're not going to do anything but bring the punter out and then say, I played the percentages, so how could you blame me? High school and college, many times the coaches feel, I have nothing to lose. So let's see now. Did that penalty change the complexion of things? They still believe in Ani's ability to get 6 yards in the first down, because that's what it's all about, to retain the football. They feel if they don't retain it, Lancaster gets it in midfield. That's the risk they're going to take. He does kick it on a free kick, so that acts as the punt. And look at it roll. A decided Antelope Valley roll. Look, he's trying to help it along. gravitational forces, the breeze coming down from Death Valley, an earthquake, anything to try to get it closer and closer in the red zone. And it was a terrific free kick punt and the right medicine that they needed, as the ball will be spotted in their own red zone. And Lancaster will have an El Capitan to scale all the way back on their own 6-yard line. 22-8, the waning minutes of this game. Will be right back. Here's the quarterback, Dinkins, the quick throw on the flat, the completion, the catch made, and working his way all the way up to the 16-yard line. Again, a form of water torture, drip, 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 each tick of the clock. 2:57, 2:56. Oops, they just stopped the clock. So much for my little routine. But you get the idea. We're inside 3 minutes to go. Options are very few right now for this Lancaster team that's starting to see their 2023 season slip away and the chance to defend their CIF title. Coach Rivers told us this team is better than last year's team, but it didn't turn out right according to plan. The throw is a good one all the way up to the 40-yard line. That's a big first down, and it will, again, appropriately enough, stop the clock at 2:35. If you're just joining us, haven't had much scoring, it's become a defensive battle since the second quarter. A mano punch-drunk battle between these two teams. And right now, Antelope Valley, which is trying to salvage a disappointing season, finding themselves right now with the score 22-8. And now they're taking more time on the sideline to try to work it out, to try to find out what's the best thing to do. Even if they get a Herculean, heroic score right now, there's not much time to get the second score. I would say Antelope Valley is in the driver's seat. And it feels good for our program to have somewhat of a bright light after, again, a sluggish, disappointing campaign. We know that we're going back down to TIFF for our post-game interviews. I was off last week, and I really had a great time watching everything go on in terms of the expanded broadcast. They've expanded and utilized Tiffany and her talent in a more far-flung way, and she's been very involved here, sideline, halftime, and she'll be back at you at the conclusion of this game. As for right now, this is just as slow as molasses out there. You know, you wouldn't know that this is the conclusion of a game that unfortunately found a player from Lancaster with a broken leg, slowed up things completely, but more important than that, everyone is very pensive, worried about his status. We haven't gotten his condition from the hospital. All we know is that he had a broken fibula. Now, timeout on the field will break as well. Only 2:35 to go. We're so glad you stayed with us for the entirety of this broadcast. Means a lot to me. We're thankful. And if you're an Antelope Valley fan, you're euphoric because you've got the 2-touchdown lead. We'll be right back. And you're watching, of course, exclusive sports broadcasts. Where else but L28? Welcome back to live action, everybody. 2:35 remaining. Antelope Valley up 22-8. Lancaster deep right now in a first and 10 situation. But again, Dinkins have to go back with a foot in the end zone. Fires away and is picked off. It's an interception. Can he get into the end zone? Yes, he can. Just what Antelope Valley was looking for. A chance to negate Lancaster. Lancaster found themselves deep in their own end zone, behind the 8 ball, in a jackpot. And all he could do was throw the football, and not a white-shirted eagle anywhere to be found. Only an antelope to gracefully prance into the end zone, and it's 28-8. Well, they're not using their kicker. It's superfluous to go for the 2-pointer. We'll see what they do. Lancaster, the Eagles, are going to fall to 4-5. They're not so hot away from Lancaster Stadium. They're now 1-3 away. And more painful, in the league, they fall to 3-3. Antelope Valley evens their books at 3-3 in the league. And they find themselves getting a victory in this ball game, improving to 3-6. They can't get better than 500, even with the victory next week overnight. But they'll remember this game, not the season. And you can believe Lancaster, fresh off a CIF victory, has done so much for the esteem of the Lancaster program. And going 13 years and not making the playoffs in a 13-year run before Brandon Rivers, they won 15, I said 15% of their games and lost 85%. And for 10 years, they couldn't beat Antelope Valley until last year. And last year, they struck the mother lode, the gold nugget, the CIF title. But again, people find it's one thing to find success. Now do it again. And do it again. And that was difficult for Brandon Rivers, again, only in his second year. They'll have to finish it off with Highland next week, or check that Palmdale. They already were beaten by Highland. And as for seniors night, here at Antelope Valley, they go off with, again, the great euphoria of sending their seniors off, most notably Kawan Sims, Kim Babineau, and Mylan Stockwell. They'll be going off into the sunset after next week, of course. Very proud with their heads held high. You know that head coach Charmaine Lewis had a game plan and executed it brilliantly against Lancaster tonight, and he was burned last year when that streak ended. 10 straight years of beating Lancaster ended. Well, he can start a new streak tonight. And as for Lancaster, all we can say is no one will ever forget the great things Brandon Lewis accomplished with a lackluster Lancaster program that brought it into itself the gold rung of the ladder, the CIF title. Yeah, they're going for the 2-point conversion, and they got it easily. And they've got themselves 30 on the scoreboard. 2:25 to go, 30-8. Antelope Valley will be right back. So apparently they disallowed that 2-point conversion, and we'll wind it up and try it again. That scoreboard's going crazy like a pinball machine up there. Now back to 28. And here's a throw. Not a soul around him. He could have waited for a fast or slow bus out there in I Avenue, because I'm telling you, nobody near him. And pretty much Lancaster has thrown up the white flag and said, we want a truce. Nobody near him. Now it's 30-8. Still it remains 2:25 to go. And we'll see what Lancaster can do here in the waning minutes of this ball game. Looking forward to Tiff's interviews after the game. And we're happy to report at L28, we're moving forward. When we're finally done with the CIF playoffs, moving forward into basketball coverage coming up around Thanksgiving. You can count on L28 now for a complete year of on-site, remote, play-by-play action. We got our feet wet with the football, and now we're on our way. Sometimes you gotta let the Badger loose. And we're letting it loose on the Antelope Valley, and the coverage is there. From basketball to baseball, and your son, your daughter will be highlighted, and you have my pledge as the broadcaster here at L28 Sports. I'm here to make them feel like Raiders or Rams or Chargers for a day. That's what we do here. So later on, and I've run into a few of these people as adults, they don't remember the score of the game, but they remember feeling like Raiders for a day. Pretty good job we have at L28, self-esteem. Now the self-esteem of this Lancaster squad, dealing with a long bus ride home, and I say long figuratively, it's only 3.5 miles to their campus. But when you lose a game like this, it feels like a million. Okay, that's a ground ball to second base, picked up quickly and brought down in Antelope Valley territory. Let's see what Lancaster will do to try to end on a high note. I'm just hoping the young man, Ballou, is A-okay. It's one thing to set a broken leg. It's another thing when they're a teenager and facing that. So we need a lot of prayer warriors out there to really step in and assist the young man. You know how they oftentimes say after an injury, the prognosis is day-to-day? Day-to-day in an injury or a medical condition? Day-to-day, aren't we all? Aren't we all? And look at that explosion there. You think of LeBron James with the powder, throwing it up in the air before an NBA game, but LeBron never had any lavender powder like that. They feel a victory coming on here in Antelope Valley. Here's the throw, a quick one on the flat. It's caught. The gain may be about 4 yards. Number 16 on the reception for Lancaster High School is Dylan Manji, another senior that's winding up his career. 2nd and 10, inside 2 minutes to go. You notice on the high school realm, no 2-minute warning. Yeah, let's play the game. Stepping back. He wants to heave it. He does. Oh, it was deflected into the hands of the receiver who's down at the 1-yard line. Boy, did Lancaster need a fortuitous break just again to make that bus ride home a little bit better, or they might be saying to themselves, why couldn't we have that kind of luck and providence earlier in this game? Making the catch, Chowlin Hughes. It bounced off, again, the secondary of the Lopes into his waiting hands. Here's the handoff, number 8, Juwan Thompson. By the way, I don't believe Ashton Hughes ever came back in this game. He's just a player, the scintillating one that they can't make it without. Remember, he was limping, and halfway back to the sideline, he had collapsed. Then he got back up and was getting help off the field. We sure hope he's all okay. 50 seconds to go. They want to score so bad. A good fan would root for them. Let's see if they can get it. Here's the throw into the end zone. He made the catch. But it is a touchdown. No, it's not. Remember, 1 foot, one lonely foot in the high school realm, and he didn't have it in. That includes a toenail. If you could prove it, a toenail landing on the end zone, you've got your score. They would call that a foot. Give them a foot, they take a mile. 40 seconds to go, 30-8. Roll out, drop the football, loose ball, recovered, yes, by the Lopes. And that's emblematic of this ball game. Lancaster several times in the red zone could not punch it in and finish things off. And as a result, they get a fumble in the red zone and Antelope Valley recovers. If you could sum up this game in one play, that would be it. So they'll just let it play out. You know that they're just going to take a knee and let it run out. We're not going to hang around up here. We're going right to Tiffany. Then we'll come back and close things out from Antelope Valley High School. Should be the last play of the game. They'll take the knee, let the clock run out, and Lancaster's playoff hopes in a repeat way to reach the mountaintop. As they did last year, sadly, they could only get to the foothills. But remember, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. No one will ever forget 2022. All right, they'll just put the obligatory knee down. Clock will run out. Antelope Valley will have themselves a 30-day victory and start a new streak after they beat Lancaster 10 straight years. Clock running out. We're going to send it down to Tiffany.
Coach, this is clearly a celebratory event. You got a Powerade bath. Everyone's jumping around. Big dynamic win on senior night against current league champs. How are you feeling?
I mean, I'm feeling great. You know, it's about time the ball goes our way. We've been spending all year to try to execute on both sides of the ball and all different facets of the game and stuff, and tonight it clicked. And a big part with this man right here, too.
Dynamic plays on both sides of the ball. There's going to be a lot of film to review for your final matchup against Pete Knight. What are you going to focus in on?
We're going to focus on Pete Knight. You know, that's our next opponent. You know, they're kind of similar to us, real athletic and stuff. We're going to try to build off of this and keep that momentum going.
Well, congratulations, Coach. Phenomenal win. Looking forward to next season and what you bring to the table.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Guys, next up we have the most dynamic player on the field that brought in so many plays, and one that was just phenomenal to see. A pickup and a play, a 100-yard touchdown, Kewan Sims. Kewan, come and join me. You had one of the most dynamic plays of the night. I mean, you were all over. You had sacks on the defensive side of the ball, but offensively, you were able to pick up and play a 100-yard touchdown. What was running through your head on that?
What run through my head was just not to get caught. I just had to score that for the team. I knew how big of a play it was, and I just had to score it.
You're a senior, Kewan, and this is senior night. What a phenomenal way to go out on your last home game. So what are the next steps for you?
Focus on P Knight, finish them, get them out the way, go hard, playoffs, baby. Yes, ma'am.
Kewan, we're looking forward to seeing how you develop within the next few years of your life. You're a phenomenal young man, and you're a phenomenal player. Congratulations.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Tonight was absolutely amazing to see this dynamic win of AV High School against current league champs Lancaster High School. It was rewarding to see the seniors just feel fulfilled and accomplished, but it was even more rewarding to see my mom and dad, who get to come back to their stomping grounds of their alma mater, and our high school sweethearts almost going on to married for 30 years. Can you believe it? There is hope at AV Lopes. Sending it back up to you, Ronnie.
What did you say? I couldn't hear.
Are we on, Annabelle? Okay, great. Ronnie Wald here to wrap things up here at Antelope Valley with the final score, 38. 30 for the home squad. And by the way, they came into this ballgame only 1-3 at home this year, so they've never succeeded here. But the inspiration of senior night, and of course we had an unfortunate incident with a Lancaster player named Ballou breaking a leg halfway through the first quarter. We don't know his disposition. We don't know his situation right now or his condition. We just know that our prayers are with him. That slowed up the game, really took the oxygen, I hate to use that term, out of the room, but took it out of the stadium. But we came back with a good ball game. But unfortunately,